watching sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Gold birds, gold string, gold words, gold anything, golden, I'll follow only golden.
Sorry for the abrupt, strange start, and why do I look like this? Why am I in the corner? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. So I'm using Restream today. So you're currently live on Twitch and Facebook simultaneously. Please don't swear. There were things I wanted to say, but I've forgotten everything. Literally everything. It's gone. Yeah, I had it here 3 minutes ago, and I've lost it somewhere. Somewhere between my ears. It's gone. It's lost. So bear that in mind. Oh, that was right. Oh, goodness me. Why is it always like this? I can't remember. What I can say, though, is I'm sorry if some of you had ads. So what we normally do on this channel is run them like every 30 minutes during an ad break. But I think because I'm going through a third party, it's kind of disconnected settings just a little bit. So there we go. But at least with Restream, I can pop you onto the screen so we can talk about the video. I hope everybody's done their homework. If you haven't, still feel free to participate. It's completely fine as well. I just have had an awful lot of correspondence, and I mean an awful lot of correspondence. A lot of like emails and so on. And I'm doing my best to get back to people, but I was also trying to have a bit of a day off today. So let my brain be free. Yeah, my brain just stops working properly. That's kind of how I know that it's time to let the brain free. What it does mean is we can talk about it now. Like if there's anything anyone wants to talk about, we can talk about it now. I have some content which I'm preparing for patrons, which will go live within the next sort of day or two. The reason is because of just two hands, guys. Two hands that do literally everything. So what I want to do is kind of give you a breakdown of my notes, my mind map and all that sort of stuff, rather than just dump it up there as like a 50 megabyte PDF. It might be more helpful to kind of talk you through it first, because it is a mess. General response has been overwhelmingly positive. I have to say, the general response has been quite, quite incredible, really. I'm just a YouTuber. And I'm also autistic. Also, that wasn't actually the word I was reaching for just then. The word I was reaching for was I got myself into a bit of a mess. Like there was no I shouldn't have done that video, honestly. Like it just got silly in the end, you know, because I wanted to make a video about ABA, but then I didn't realize how little I knew. The more I started studying, the further it is. I realized how little I actually knew. You know, obviously I'd heard the talking points from both sides, but I didn't really know. No. Yes, I got into a mess. So I started talking to RBTs and BCBAs and BCABAs. Look, if you're starting an organization, you want to get certification, why do you have these weird acronyms? Like, there are so many letters on the alphabet, right? You got like 26 to choose from, and you just used the first 3. C, B, A, B, B, A, B, B, A, B, 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 C. There's more notes on a piano than there. Just. That's all I have to say. So yeah, the response has kind of blown me away a little bit, because it's been overwhelmingly incredibly positive in ways I never really imagined, honestly. But yeah. Did anyone have any questions while I'm here? Like this is you can quiz me. I am still going to show my workings on Patreon. I am also going to post. Obviously, I haven't put any sources on YouTube, so I normally would go into the description of my videos. And if you look in the descriptions of any of my videos, you will see my references. I endeavor to provide references and sources for my claims. I have not done so. Well, I have in the video. I have it, but I also haven't put my reading list up there. It's really big. And honestly, I was really tired. I didn't leave this room for 5 days working on that video, by the way. So after the last live stream, I just literally, other than to sleep or just to keep my body working, I have not left here. Everything has been put away to make that video work. Thank you so much, Sue. So, yeah. So some stuff I've just kind of put off, and I'll just do it later, sort of thing. But in the next couple of days, I'll finish up and tidy up, and I'll make sure all the references are available for everyone publicly. And then obviously, patrons on Patreon, you can start digging into my notes and looking through my thought processes and things. I have my notes in front of me now. Happy to talk through some elements of it. If anyone has any conversation, Jansen, remind me to tell you about that later in private. Liz, I was supposed to cancel the live stream. So I actually thought the live stream was not going to be going ahead. Are you able to change your clothes for the live? Yeah, it was getting a bit like that. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm pretty yeah. I actually probably the hardest thing was I cut my finger feeding the cats. Not the cats. It was just like tins. We've got some tinned food as well as pouches and blah 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 blah. Tins can get very, very sharp, and as I'm carrying the tins away, I slice my thumb. But because when I'm working, I don't like sticky hands. This is hard to explain to people. Okay, this makes me sound a bit weird, but I'm just going to go with it. In for a penny, in for a pound. And I hate the feeling, particularly on my mouse. This is a Logitech MX Master 3S. They've got a new one out now. If anyone's got the MX4, let me know. Is it any good? But yeah, this has got a really good texture. It feels amazing. It's really nice. It fits my hand perfectly. The only thing is, I don't like the feeling of like clamminess or stickiness on the thing. So I wash my hands constantly, and I'm like editing furiously. Like I'm just sort of like, I'm not really sort of sweating, but like it's like that. It's like, oh my god, tap 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 tap, and I'm constantly rushing to wash my hands, and I've gone through an entire packet of plasters because every single time, obviously, the plastic then gets wet, and it's like, oh, let's change it. So that's been me for 5 days. Sticky hands and plasters. It's been a bit of a thing. Thank you very much, the Reader 14. I don't think I've seen you in the stream before, so yeah, thank you so much for your super sticker, and also which you'll see on YouTube, but you won't see it on Twitch. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. Believe it or not, actually, from a YouTube perspective, November was my worst month ever in terms of like YouTube showing my videos and things and actual activity on YouTube. So yeah, I really appreciate it. It keeps the ball rolling. It's kind of strange, really, moving from sort of software engineering and computer science to YouTube, making documentaries about behaviorism. Didn't see that coming a few years ago, I promise you. It's weird in the DSM-5. No, not really. In fact, autism shouldn't be in the DSM-5, really. I mean, well, it can be, but it's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of what? Of what? Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of... Yes, exactly. Yeah, fill it in, guys. Yeah, autism doesn't really fit the title of the book. If anything, it should be in there as like an appendix or something, or discussion or whatever. But it's packed in there next to next to some stuff that you people have difficulty getting through. No, it's not a DSM-5 does not stand for disability. Mental disorders. I don't think autism really fits. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the world is not America, I guess. It's something that's really quite strange about the history of autism, particularly in autism research and autism services. But the ABA studies have been really interesting because in parallel to kind of like the history of autism, the two things are almost like two pillars supporting this structure of profound autism and autism levels. No offense to anyone, there's no offense intended at all. But the sort of like Americanization of the American system with respect to autism and respect to even ADHD, even everything else as well. I'm sure if I looked into everything else, it would be the same. I'm sure it is. And people tell me this. People go, bipolar people have it hard too. But people, it's like, yeah, I get it. I can imagine. I'm pretty confident the grass is not greener in the field next door. They should rename it to Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the Brain Stuff. Yes. It should just be called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the Brain Stuff. I agree with you 100%. That actually works and it's accurate. No hype. Hype is missing, is it? FML. Honestly. YouTube. We'd rather use ASC because autism spectrum syndrome. Yeah, I know. Well, autism spectrum disorder. Autism spectrum. Yeah, C works quite well. It's a condition. It is a neurodevelopmental condition. I think everyone can agree on that. I don't think that's even like contentious. It, is what it is. But Ivar Lovaas really connected autism with intellectual disabilities. He had a different word for it. But Ivar Lovaas, the rest of his writing is kind of worse, actually. In fact, there's more that's worse. Like, the stuff I picked with George Reckers was bad, but it's... Ivar Lovaas' view of autism is very, very poor. And he wasn't very well read, actually. In fact, on the subject of Ivar Lovaas, okay, I shouldn't probably do this. It's naughty. I don't know. I'm not trying to make a polemic here. But old Ivar Lovaas' father was actually associated with the Nazis. And Lovaas has this rather strange kind of history, because Lovaas maintained that he had nothing to do with the Nazis, and that he was forced into being a labourer on a farm throughout the war. This is Lovaas, right? Oh, Ivar Lovaas. Okay. Father was associated with the Nazi Party, the Nazis. He was a quote-unquote figure of interest. And Ivar Lovaas himself says he was forced to be a labourer on a farm. But his school records show perfect attendance. I don't know. It's got nothing to do with the documentary. It's got nothing to do with the film. It's just interesting. Ivar Lovaas as a character. In fact, it wasn't until, was it 74, 76? Someone will look it up. His comment about constructing a person. Autistic people are not real people. They have like mouth, nose, etc. But no, they're not human. You have to kind of make a person with his ABA therapy. The interesting thing about that is it's not an offhand comment. He really considered that comment. It was in an interview with Psychology Today. It's like, I can imagine if I were invited to speak to if I were invited to speak to the same journal, okay, about the same subject, I'm going to be really careful about what I'm saying. I might even read off my phone. I might even just read a prepared statement. There's no way in hell I'm going to be like, oh man, fucking neurotypicals. Oh, they're all fucking stupid. Oh, none of them are human. I'm never going to say that. You know what I'm trying to say? But Ivar Lovaas basically did that. He must have been so committed to the bit. The other thing about Ivar Lovaas that really shocked me as well is that he was really badly read on the history of autism. He was so badly read on the history of autism. He believed that autism and intellectual disabilities were conflated. And that's practically the very genesis of this idea of profound autism. It's got nothing to do with autism. Or this idea of severe intellectual disabilities being somehow autism. You can have both, by the way. You can be autistic and have learning disabilities. But Ivar Lovaas should know better. I mean, from a pure technical perspective, his abstracts are all really bad. In fact, all of his writing is pretty bad. So there you go. That's Lovaas. If anyone has anything to say, other than perhaps his name is kind of funny. Given that he worked with George Reckers, or should I say George Reckers worked with a guy called Lovaas. I don't know. It's very difficult to find humor in this whole thing. It's really difficult to find humor in the whole enterprise, because really there's not a lot here that's funny. But I thought that was interesting anyway. If any of you want to go digging into the history of Lovaas, there's some fascinating stuff there. Soup, yeah, it is really deeply systemic than him. Yeah, I think the thing is that Lovaas was so foundational. That paper has been cited thousands of times. Like, that paper has been cited more times, okay, than than November's paper on the psychiatric hospitalizations of autistic children that went through ABA. Over 5,000 of them ended up being hospitalized compared to the control group that didn't receive any ABA. Well, Lovaas's paper was cited more than that. It's got like 6K, 7K citations. It's just bizarre. The direction of travel, not only with like what appears to be happening in reality versus what people think is going on, or what people have been told is going on, is dramatically different. That right there is part of the systematic rot, appeals to academia, for sure. Actually, I find it quite useful, Soup, don't you? if the evidence for ABA is so rotten, is that not actually interesting in and of itself? Like, if you have a group of people, an organization, or debating societies would call it a house, right? So like, you know, like if you have a position, a group of people that hold a certain belief, but belief is probably a too strong word, but like you've got people that hold a position. In other words, ABA is good. There you go. That's a position to hold. And the evidence they're going to use to support that is, it's almost like behind the scenes, there's people running around shredding things. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's almost like the evidence comes out, you know, everyone gets to heaven, let's say, and God's there, and God's got all the evidence in all paper files, all God's evidence, all the paper files. And then the argument, the people trying to argue for ABA are grabbing them and then shredding them and then finding one paper that goes, this worked on this poor boy in Alabama. You know, it's from that perspective, I find it interesting. Yes, the science soup is rotten in some respects. The academic literature is so polluted in this field. But that's interesting, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Look, for 2 years I held the position that their arguments were circular. Like, for example, we know Spider-Man exists. How do we know that Spider-Man is real? Because Spider-Man is set in New York. And New York is a real place. Some of you live in New York. New York is a real place. You can go and visit all of the places that Spider-Man visited. Therefore, Spider-Man must be real. Now, I thought that was the argument for ABA. Which it is, because the ABA papers all cite these two core papers, these two foundational papers. All of them are like, you know, like one or two steps removed from these foundational papers as being one of their first references. That is shocking to me. 19 children, 19 hand-picked children, some of whom received ABA for over 14, one of them in particular received ABA for 14,000 hours. 14,000 hours of intensive behavioural modification, including aversive, slapping, hitting. 14,000 hours. 14,000 hours. And that's in... I don't know if anyone saw that in my video. I highlighted it. I didn't talk about it. I just drew a red circle around the number. Go back and have a look at 14,000 hours. This is Lovaas making his... presenting his evidence. One child had 14,000 hours. Oh, and by the way, this was a child that didn't recover, quote unquote recover. And you think, okay, well, that child had a life. We don't know who they were. They're probably dead now, but we don't know what their life was like. What we do know is that there was a period in time before UCLA, before the UCLA lab, there was a period of time in that person's life, that human being's life, before they had 14,000 hours taken away. 14,000 hours equals 7 years at the 40-hour week rate. Thank you very much for doing the mathematics there. It's exactly right. Yeah. It's effectively a prison sentence. You could argue that it was a 5-year prison sentence. It gives you about, what, 60 hours a week? Plus sleep time and meals? You basically incarcerated someone, but not just incarcerated someone. Prisoners can read books. I mean, you're brainwashing someone intensively for a large share of their life. It's bizarre. And like I say, it comes before ethics. And I haven't looked deeply into, for example, occupational therapy and the history thereof. But every other field has got much higher ethical standards than ABA. If you're my age and you were caught younger, you may well, especially if you're in America, you almost certainly will have had pressure on your parents to sign you up for ABA. So there we go. That's the deal. I find the fact that their scientific evidence is so poor to be very interesting from a academic perspective. Thoughts? Vocals Unleashed, it's worth watching the video, I'll be honest with you. I don't think you should leave to watch it necessarily right now. It's going to stay up until it eventually gets taken down. I'm sure it's going to attract a bit of attention. I'm waiting for the cease and desist letters as I speak. Feel free to send them if you're watching. Hydra will pee on them. I'm wondering whether those of us who've mass camouflage are just self-inflicting ABA. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yes. But I think there is definitely an societal ABA, if you like. There's definitely a layer of it's worse when someone else is doing it to you. I'd like to know if any adult has willingly signed themselves up for such service. I don't know that you could necessarily. I don't think anyone has the finances free to do such a thing. And if you were to sign yourself up for ABA as a client, I mean, if somebody were trying to work with me that way, I'd tell them to fuck off. I don't understand. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it only works if you're young and impressionable and have that innate respect for authority that's kind of built into our DNA. Don't go over there, there's a cliff edge. Don't go over there, there's crocodiles and sharks and arsenic, whatever, and poo. You know, don't put your fingers in your mouth after touching that, whatever. You know what I mean? And then kids kind of obey for a little while, and it's kind of what keeps them safe, right? If you catch a person at that age and you're like going right, you're hijacking those evolutionary mechanisms that keep us safe when we're little, to kind of ram in some stuff that doesn't really belong in that person, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Would an adult willingly sign up for it? Sure. But then again, I don't know that an adult... I suppose what I'm trying to say is this. We are all vulnerable psychologically in a number of ways. Gambling, for example, loot boxes in video games, you know, whatever. We do a lot of things for dopamine chasing, but, you know, ABA is almost like... it's almost like a Trojan horse. It's almost like a virus, almost, you know, from a computer analogy, right? In that it's hijacking the mechanisms that keep not just keeping us safe, but also kind of just our vulnerabilities. We have vulnerabilities. We're human, and that makes me uneasy. It makes me uneasy. Hey, Jessica, how's it going? Hey, Dax, how are you? Leslie, the Tanners. Do you know, my intention is to put people's text on the screen and then I'll answer it, if that makes sense. Okay. I can't really comment on this specifically, but the cast of Love on the Spectrum. I'm not trying to like psychoanalyze people or whatever. I'm just saying that some of their some of the way people on, for example, social media, TikTok is bad for this, and I hate it, by the way. I hate spending time on TikTok, but I just don't. I only look at it for going, oh my god, right, put the oven-proof gloves on and then scroll. Set a timer so I'm not on it for long. And the sort of the way people respond, you know, oh well, such well-behaved, you know, sweet young men, blah 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 blah. Some of the male cast, particularly, have endured a lot of time. A lot of their life has gone into being being trained, being programmed. Difficult one. Lorax, by the way, thank you very much for your super chat earlier. I really want to say thank you for that. That was incredibly generous. And Danielle Marie as well. Thank you also for quite a generous super chat. Thank you so much. I mean, Christmas is back on, guys. Thank you. It means a lot. Especially as the video is demonetized. Okay. So thank you so much. As recent research is finding, it's autistic traits that will have kept the NTs and early tribes around us safe with the early warning systems for sure. I mean, I would like to say that there's an evolutionary advantage in some respects. Like, things don't have to necessarily be advantages in order to persist, right? They can be neutral. They can even be harmful, but not in a big way, right? So, and by big way, I mean, so just you don't spread your genes on. We're talking royal we, talking ancestors. So yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I think it's worth saying that, Miss Pat, also thank you very much for your super chat. You didn't have to, by the way. Like, especially like, if anybody is ever inclined to super chat or super thanks, have a look at my Patreon first, because you might prefer to just, if you're going to send me some money, exchange it for something on the Patreon store, one of the tiers maybe. Get access to Discord videos, my mind map. That's where that's going. And I'd hate to post it there and then somebody that super chatted me won't be able to play with the mind map. It just feels a bit strange. So yeah, do Patreon first. Just saying, okay? Just make sure that you're okay. Yeah. I think it's fair to. I think what we can say for sure is that over pathologization, over claims of deficits, everything that Lovaas ever wrote about autistic people, ignoring. In fact, it's not even about support needs. He was focused intensely on intellectual disabilities. Thank you, Miss Pat. We don't have to be the revolutionary advantage to deserve to be the way that we are, though. Mady, you're 100% correct. This is 100%. 100%. This is absolutely the case. That even also applies, of course, to intellectual disabilities. I'm not, when I'm bringing them up, it's only with respect to the false conflation of intellectual disabilities with autism. I've made a video about this previously. In fact, the whole IQ thing is bizarre and also eugenicist as well. Why is it when you look things up, it's like, particularly in this area, it's so dark. It's so fucking dark. Why is it just, I need you all to know this, okay? This is as much as a surprise to me as it is to you. Not all fields of human endeavor are so dark. Like all the computer science, and to be fair, I am so out of it now. Maybe it's weird now, but like, just there's so much that is so bizarre and awful about autism research. Worse now than during the 1930s and 1940s. To give you, if you wanted a comparison, taking into account all of the conversation about conversion therapy, which is hand in hand with behaviorism and autism, going through the whole refrigerator mother thing, all the refrigerator mother stuff. That was just something else. That's and now we're at this point of everybody's eagerly awaiting to see this Tylenol and autism link evidence, because I mean, autism has been this like ugly poster child, like some demonic thing that has had a lot of funding and a lot of money thrown at it to kind of solve, and nothing's worked. There's no cure. There's no, I say there's no therapy. There is actually work on your environment, anything environmental, and that goes all the way through to work and occupation, the whole occupational health thing. Some of you will have really high support needs and need assistance with getting dressed, washing, looking after yourselves, looking after your environment, all this sort of stuff. The whole thing. There's so many things. There's so much stuff where help can be given and research can be done, and it's just like it's limitless. It's everything associated with being human and what it is that you want to do and what's in your fucking way, and how do you get it out of the way, or how does somebody help you get it out of the way, right? All of that stuff. There are problems here to solve. It's not like ambiguous, like, oh, if only. But the problem is that ABA has wedged itself in there. It's wedged itself in there, and made itself into a massive industry. I still think all those fruitarian mothers, when diagnosed unsupported, are doing the best to cope. I agree with you. I think that's quite likely. There's a decent, more likely than not. Yes, I have played with COBOL before. Yeah, I was actually when I was doing my degree as a mature student, and she was a COBOL programmer. It was quite funny actually, because like she was like kind of confused a bit. She got a first class degree in the end, but like she was really confused with like a mouse and seriously. And this is what, back a very early 2000s, late 90s. The other thing is, by the way, to give everyone a bit of hope here, because there is a silver lining, and it is like, if any of you did like a little audit of what you needed in your life, and when I say that, I don't mean like $1 million or whatever. I mean like throughout your day, if you had like a little dictaphone and you pressed a button and went, right, this is in my way, I don't know how to deal with this, and it was, and it also happens to be a specific hygiene factor, like not about hygiene like washing, but like, I cannot climb this flight of fucking stairs, or I cannot open these bloody toothpaste tubes, or I cannot blah, 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 blah. And you had a list of things that you needed help with. I bet you none of that is that expensive. I bet you it's not thousands of dollars. Like, getting people the assistance they need does not need to necessarily, and I don't mean the whole like, meeting everyone's needs and letting everyone live like royalty, though that'd be great, and you know, living standards should improve, etc., etc. But like, I mean, $250,000 per year on ABA is the gold standard. That's what's being marketed by every ABA clinic, pretty much. Like, Google ABA clinics. I barely scratched the surface. Go Google ABA clinics and look at their web pages. All of them. They're all gold standard shit. Even Kaylin Partlow's one, the Hope Center. Same thing. They're all like, they all want this fucking 40-hour a week contract. And I'll be honest with you, back in 2003, I started a software company and hired some of the people that I was at uni with, or college with at the time. And just the overwhelming desire to have these 40-hour week blocks of time where people can be sort of gainfully employed. It's just so wonderful. If you can get like a year-long gig at $200 an hour for 40 hours a week, $250,000, that's amazing. You can do so much with that. Thoughts? If you thought your live stream was a spectator sport, you were wrong. God, I sound like a hippie. That's talking about yourself there. That wasn't me. I'm just reading comments out. The scratching post is the gold standard of Discords, but the real gold standard, and not you know, the golden things standard. Not the turd wrapped in wrapping paper standard. Given the cost now, I understand what my parents went about financial sacrifice of system went through with my nephew. Yeah, for those that are having to co-pay on the insurance, or indeed not, wow, the costs are out golden shower stand. It's just amazing. Like, it's just huge quantities of money. The other thing that I really want people to take away, like I really do, I want every single person who's either autistic neurodivergent or is connected with somebody who's autistic neurodivergent or knows somebody with an autistic child or whatever, right? I want everyone to just think about this for a second. Pretend to be an RBT. Pretend to be an entry-level worker. You're making $20 to $30 an hour, which actually is not too bad, but you know. And you have to go to client's home. You have to go to their client's school. You have to go to a client's third space, park or whatever, and you have to work with them. You have to do this ABA. And the client's running away. The client's saying no. The client's, you know, upset. The client's crying. You're hearing from the parents that they're upset and they're not keen about it. Your job is to kind of encourage them and go, come on, you know, yeah, you can, you know, push through with it, or just, you know, lock the door or whatever. Are you, as an RBT, honestly going to go and say, I'm sorry, we have to stop? In fact, the only thing that's going to happen is you'll end up getting sacked. You'll end up getting replaced by somebody else that will do the job. That's what's going to happen 100% of the time. And if anybody knows of any RBTs that have lost their job because of that exact reason and can prove it, I'd love to talk to them or hear from them. Hit me up, email me. I don't think it's happened because I don't think it's common for ABA clinicians to say that what they're doing is wrong, because generally speaking, they believe. Anne-Marie, I can tell you that from something Kaylin Partlow once said. The ratio of women to men working in the ABA field is basically all women. Kaylin Partlow made a video not that long ago where she talks about one of her colleagues who was male and said something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing terribly here, but effectively, he's called a male therapist. But it shouldn't be like that. He shouldn't be called a male therapist. We need more men in ABA. That's what she was saying. We need more male ABA people. One here. I don't know how long my account's gonna last, but I'm registered with the BCAB. I nearly said BABC then. So, yeah, I mean, like any sort of like caring field, like this is predominantly women that are working in it. But I can tell you something interesting, Anne-Marie. This is anecdotal as hell, okay? This is anecdotal as hell. But a lot of the research is done by men. A lot of those in higher senior positions are male. There's very little men. There's very few men at the bottom of the where I'm at. I just hopped onto the ABA ladder on the bottom rung. Okay, okay, I wasn't up there at all. I was just on the bottom rung. They're all women on that bottom rung. Pretty much. Yeah, there's basically no men up there. For Dr. Tarbox, for example, male. There's an awful lot of men higher up. I don't want to say patriarchy, but it looks like a patriarchy. But I don't want to say it out loud. But it does genuinely. There's more men at the top, and then there's none at the bottom. It's not that men are like going, there's a man who's just started work, let's pull him up. But also, it is kind of a weird sexism. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There is. Please say out loud. I'm just saying, like, it's anecdotal, is what I'm saying. From my experience, it's anecdotal. The Lost Girls of Autism talks about male research bias in autism research. Yeah, oh god, yeah. The autism research is so fucking heavily male biased. Like, that's not anecdotal at all. It's like, it's near exclusive. I know there are some amazing women, actually. Francesca Happe is, we're looking modern now, okay? But going back into the past, it's almost exclusively all men. It's patriarchy shaped. Yes. Patriarchy plus pyramid scheme equals pharaohocracy. Yeah. If it smells like patriarchy, works like patriarchy, it's supposed to be patriarchy. Sure. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not going to disagree with it. I'd love to know more about the organisation chart and the organisation of the BCAB, but they're quite secretive. It's a little bit like a secret fucking society, if I'm honest with you. Yeah. Actually, the more I say it out loud, the more weird it sounds. like they're not very transparent. In fact, even the NSP2 document, you have to jump through hoops to get hold of it, by the way. It's not publicly available. It just blows my mind how secretive folks are. I think I am slightly more suspicious, a bit yellow flaggy, if I see sort of organizations or people sort of using colloquialisms to describe their evidence, you know. Oh, we've got the gold standard. We're the gold standard approved science-based blah, blah, blah. The other thing I did in my video, by the way, is I obscured some of my sources. I actually have an audio recording of my tutor saying that ABA thing, by the way. The thing about OT, I actually have a recording of that. The other creator that made the comment about you can't criticize this thing because it's not real ABA. That's not real ABA. This isn't real ABA. That's not real ABA. The no true Scotsman fallacy. No true Scotsman would eat that. No true Scotsman would drink that. No true Scotsman would do, etc. I kind of obscured their name. If you look for ABA content online, you can find them, right? You know. But like, I didn't want them to get dogpiled, you know. I'm not saying you guys would do that, but I mean, hell, I got bloody dogpiled when the Healthy Gamer GG thing happened. That was my first experience of a very mild dog. It was like angry chihuahuas barking at me from a purse, I guess. But it was my first experience of, oh, dogpiling. That's new to me. I've not had that before. It feels like we went undercover. Yeah. It was actually quite... hello, Mian Mian. It actually felt kind of frustrating. It took me a long time to get that training done. It was really fucking annoying to listen to. Not all of it was all timed, by the way. So you have to log in to this online learning platform. And literally it's all timed on their end. They set a timer. And it's so backwards, but yeah, it does make you do the time. And I should sit there and smile and nod and stuff. I think I probably am still topping that scoreboard because I was like easily 30% higher than the next sort of. I really wanted to, do you know what I actually wanted? I worked so hard on that because I wanted because I knew there was a leaderboard. And I wanted to make sure that I was on top of that leaderboard as Autistic AF, just so that people, do you know what I mean? Do you know, I don't want to say it's like a PDA thing. I don't want to say it's like a fuck you thing, but it's almost like a childish, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. I'm just telling you. It's just a very sort of playful, childish reaction to all of it. but yeah, it was mostly frustrating and boring. I would say probably about sorry, 1 second. Probably about 4 to 5, 6 hours of it was actually super interesting, because actually on the methods and things, learning about behaviorism was actually fascinating and actually genuinely interesting. I've learnt a lot, but I was the rest of it was mostly tedious, and maybe 10% of it was really making me angry. About 10% of it was making me really angry, hearing about tantrums and things, and hearing about consent and neurodiversity, and autistic people sometimes don't want to be called person with autism. People don't want to be spoken to with deficit language, but basically, yes, but you know, otherwise just crack on with it. It felt like a compulsory. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but some of you might catch the vibe. It felt like, you know, like police or, you know, cops might get like a mandatory, I don't know, let's call it an autism awareness training course. I don't know. They might get like a mandatory half-hour speech from somebody on autism awareness, and they'll just like think about what they're having for lunch and then go home at the end of the day and carry on exactly unchanged. Goldilocks zone. Excellent question. I appear to be late. You don't. Not late at all. You can rewind. I did want to ask which qualifications I should pursue, which learning hub's best if I wanted to be a non-ABA type support for neurodivergent people. There's so many options. If counselling thing, that type of thing, or is there something that you already have naturally on your character sheet, so to speak? What sort of natural traits do you have that might be helpful or useful? Like, for example, well, what are you interested in? It could be that there's some sort of like element of that. Sorry, 1 sec. I don't tend to stream to Twitch because it's full of like scam bots and stuff. Okay, yeah. So the issue is there's so many to choose from. Just steer clear of ABA. Like, if you want to make it properly professional, you can go into occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy. There are even things like, I'm not condoning this, but it's not ABA necessarily, but it's adjacent. You've got things like DIR and floor time. You've got all kinds of like just working, you know, working as a carer even. I mean, even working as a, you know, you can work as a hands-on carer, work for an autism charity even. There's so many amazing things you can do. There's so many things. ABA is the one single monolith big thing. And tons of little spin-offs around the edge. But yeah, you'll be all right. I once came across a post from a therapy page telling people not to say someone is autistic, rather that they're on the spectrum. Personally, most autistic people I know prefer autistic though. Yes, I'd prefer autistic too, rather than on the spectrum, which is a bit of a weird colloquialism, but okay. If somebody referred to me in that way, it would make me sort of stop what I'm thinking, you know, it would throw me a tiny bit, not a huge amount, but it would be like, I think if somebody referred to me as a person with autism, that is really weird. It's very medicalized language, and bearing in mind that I don't have the experience of growing up as a person with autism, you know, I'm in my 40s, and then somebody wants to say I'm a person with autism. Ugh. This is why I find some of Kaylin's videos difficult to watch, if I'm honest. I think her perspective is good, generally. She comes from a good place, except that she films them from an ABA clinic. Therefore, it's ABA clinic language, it's ABA clinic pathology, it's kind of othering and stuff. But it's interesting because I don't think there are many other, you know, content creators working from inside the industry. I don't think there's any, actually. You can despise the phrase severe autism because it implies, yeah, kind of, you're just a bit Star Trekky. it kind of, it's, you know, I prefer the term having an autism crisis. Or or tizzled, if you will. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, Emma. Come on. Mike's an autistic person with autism. True. Sometimes I carry my autism with me when I need it for a special occasion. Sometimes I'm just autistic. Sometimes I might even sort of open the box and show people what, display it in public. You know, like, I'm auti curious. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's a bit, just a bit Star Trek-y. I've been called by my name. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I say go full autistic sometimes. Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, I thought the conversation about language preferences was actually quite an important way to set the tone. But it felt shoehorned in. I'm very suspicious that there's a memo going around that tells trainers to say, look, you've got to put the neurodiversity shit in the beginning, all right? Don't spend too long on it. Just give them half an hour. Just give them half an hour. I think Emma might have moderated someone. Hang on. Sorry about that. Somebody got their comment in by Emma's nose. Severe autism might be compounded by autism. Oh, that's funny. Cold is making you make typos. You've got cold hands, actually. Sorry, everyone. My voice is a bit poor today. Some of the typos. Okay, right. So the typo on my thumbnail. That's called English, guys. How much is your YouTube revenue? Really bad. If you really want to know, if I want to live if I want to make a living on YouTube, okay, and this is without Patreon, I would need at least at this rate, somewhere around 2 million subscribers probably would do it. It's YouTube. Don't think of YouTube and money. It works for like the 0.001% for sure. Like there are streamers out there with, you know, 5-figure viewing and no fucking community, FYI, but just, you know, making crazy amounts of money for what purpose? Who knows? Just money. No, YouTube is not a money thing. Certainly software engineering is a lot easier in that regard. If the written text in the video had a typo, could you fix it? No, I couldn't. Oh shit. Is there a typo in the video? Tell me. I want to know. I want to know. Give me a timestamp. Ideally in the Discord, tag me and then I'll get around to it because I do see my inbox in there. No, that's a shame. It's like the credits, right? So like the credits at the end of my videos, they're baked in. They are part of the video forever. they're like just baked into the video. It is possible to kind of like make one cut in YouTube and like cut stuff off like once, like, but yeah, you can't re-edit stuff. It says asset instead of ascent. Can I tell you as well? I have carpal tunnel, which I haven't had operated on because operations, and it was so flary during this editing of that video. There are a couple of typos. No. You got to get into tech reviews. Logitech MX Master 4 review. I don't have the MX Master 4, but I do have all of the other Logitechs, by the way. So we can have a Logitech stream at some point. Not sponsored. I'm just saying. I have the MX. This is the 3S. This replaced a different 3S that you may have seen previously. You would never know this, but this is the second 3S I've had because I wear them out. Carpal tunnel surgery. It was okay, was it? Is it okay? I've had carpal tunnel issues since I was about 16 years old. Don't worry about the typos. Don't think they're a problem. See, I can read it. I can read typos. No problem. I had carpal tunnel operations before it became fashionable. Yeah. So it's just like it mostly kind of like it's not a daily issue for me. But it can be. Emma, Emma, how fast can you type on me? Like the G502 is good. It's good. Wired, right? You a gamer? And he stores cabinet curiosity study where research tried to prove people turning children in crew mode. What was that, Maricat? Sorry, I didn't follow. You can get an injection to symptoms when I have surgery. Oh, that's interesting. I might. I take ibuprofen. Yeah, that's what I do. Which I think is called Advil in the United States. My Logitech cleans paint. You worked on the first ever USB scanner. That's amazing. That's amazing. Love it. I do quite like Logitech's products actually. In here we have. I have the MX Mini as well, obviously, and what's going on? Right, this one. Sorry for the dust. It's been in my cupboard for a while. This one's the MX Master 3. This is a dusty. It's just sawdust. This is an MX Master 3. This is the 3S because the 3 goes click. That's annoying. That's not annoying. And then all the others are just in the shed, in the box. Dusty's a weird name for a mouse, but why not? Yeah, Dusty's a great name for a mouse, actually. Oh, the Milgram experiment, the Stanford prison experiment. Yeah, sure. I mean, you've never seen a more neurotypical experiment in your life, right? An example of how society goes. Honestly, yeah, it's not great. MX Anywhere, that's the one. MX Anywhere. I have an MX Anywhere and an MX Anywhere 2. The original MX Anywhere I gave to Nina. But I don't rate the sorry, come for autism and talk about peripherals. I think it would be better, rather than having an MX Anywhere, to just have another one of these and then just chuck it in your bag. Honestly. Because for me my issue is on my right wrist. So like my hands are quite large, so I want to be able to hold a mouse. Like with the MX Anywhere, you kind of have to kind of like crab it. Do you know what I mean? Like a crab like this. Right. Can we go back to can we go back to the topic? Early in the video, there was an apology for using the hard R, but my understanding that phrase refers to a much worse word than the one used. I don't know. I didn't particularly want to drop it. I don't deliberately want to sort of go around sort of offending people and just being mean. But on the flip side, it doesn't sort of offend me directly personally, but I swear a lot too. I don't tend to use the R word though, but I think it's. I mean, my family work a lot in healthcare and social care and those sort of settings, so it would be inappropriate. But you know, each to their own. I hate really, it's not just like slurs about groups of people and disabilities, which I find sort of distasteful. It's more about, it's a bit of a meta thing. Don't take me the wrong way, but there's some strange correlations with autism, and it's bizarre to me. It's really strange. We've gone from sort of Hans Asperger, Donald Triplett, Leo Kanner time, straight through, you know, Bernard Rimland. He was another special case. Bernard Rimland is another one. He's the refrigerator mother one. So good. Ah. In fact, Bernard Rimland kind of started the ball rolling with Autism Speaks, really. That's where his... Oh, he had some fucking incomprehensible ideas about how to raise children. Again, ABA. Horrific. Elmin Light, like, it's become politicized as well, which also makes me want to opt out a bit more too. So it's more like a Call of Duty lobby kind of slur, and also a bizarrely right-wing slur too. There are a lot of streamers and right-wing content creators that like to use the word. That's almost what makes it more distasteful for me than the word itself. But yeah, there's a lot more offensive stuff in that video if you wanna watch it, particularly Act 1, the first 40 minutes. There's a lot more incredibly offensive stuff in there. It's all quite sickening actually in places. If anyone is lacking the energy to process that, you can skip forward about 35 minutes or so and you'll be fine. I'm not saying it gets easier, but there's nothing... The right-wing connection to the hard RS though is what got me to stop using it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's become a calling card for... It's just strange. Language choice can be intentional group signaling. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. And I think I don't want to... I think particularly in content, I don't particularly want to sort of court political extremes in my content. I get enough abuse as it is without being told I'm XYZ all the time. You know, it gets a bit tiring after a while. So yeah, it's being respectful, but also trying to avoid political controversy. How's the video performing so far? It's performing really, really well. YouTube tells me it's a 3 out of 10, which makes me feel good and happy about it, considering the amount of bloody work that's gone into it. Oh, Nate, thank you so much. That's really kind. I didn't realize Ko-fi was like fully integrated with Restream, but it is. Thank you so much. That's super kind of you. I'll log into Ko-fi and reply at some point soon. Just in case you were wondering, it's just me here. I have to do one thing at a time. Yeah, the video is doing okay. but it will take a while before it properly percolates out to everybody. Better than one. No. 1 out of 10's better. No, Miss Pat. Sorry, I said it the wrong way, Ray. So with YouTube, when they say like a video is 1 out of 10, it means that it's like the best, and 10 out of 10 is like the worst. The 3 out of 10 is quite good. So it's not like 7 out of 10. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like we would normally say 7 out of 10, but it's actually a 3 out of 10, which is good. So 1 out of 10 would be better. But like, yeah, 3 out of 10 is really good. So when it gets picked up by the BBC, are we still going to have our Tuesday chats? Yeah, why not? I don't think it'll get picked up by the BBC. I don't think it's. I would happily, by the way, if any documentary crews are watching this and they want pointing in directions, I'm happy to kind of like point you. If anyone wants pointing at sources, it's the whole ABA industry is fucking ripe for some investigative journalism. Like, you don't even need to work that hard. I don't think it's all rotten. The whole thing is rotten. Hey Shoika, you should do a TED talk. Soup on what? What do you want me to talk about? Logitech. do a TED talk on Logitech. The history of the MX Master Mouse series. Is that what you want a TED talk on? Because I could do that one. Or nudibranchs. Oh. No one. All right. Okay. Wait. I need everyone to hear me on this one. This is so funny. I was going to sleep, okay, and I was trying to figure out what to listen to go to fall asleep to. And I found a YouTube channel, a random YouTube channel that was somehow streaming. It was live, but it wasn't live. It was playing pre-recorded stuff live. And it was playing pre-recorded TED Talks live, and they were really boring. Okay? So I was falling asleep to this really boring TED Talk, okay? And after about like 5-6 minutes, just as I was nodding off, it switched over to a TED Talk about nudibranchs. The guy was talking about slugs, all right? So he starts his TED Talk by saying, oh, I really like slugs. And I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell. Are you autistic or something? and then he goes, people always ask me, like, why do I like slugs? You know, like, but they're really interesting. And but these aren't just any slugs. These are like marine slugs. And I'm like, you fucking what? So I had to sit up at about 4 o'clock in the morning and watch 45 minutes. Oh, hello, Popo. And watch Princess Polly of Fluffy Butt Castle here. And I had to watch this TED Talk on some random YouTube account was just live streaming some TED Talk about nudibranchs. You can find it, by the way, if you Google it. This is a legit TED Talk. And I loved it. It was brilliant. And then I couldn't really fall asleep afterwards because now I was awake. Northern Cat, thank you. That's super kind of you. Thanks. Fran, you support me already. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Really is the main thing, and thank you very much for that. I will go and get coffee with it. I will go and get all the happy things over the next couple of days. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Cortine, I see an ABA question. Can I quickly grab it? Oh, Nerf. My experience of getting an ABA certification as a diagnosed autistic person would be a fully valid TEDx talk. Might be, actually, yeah. You're going to get it on Patreon in like the next 24, 48 hours. This is going to be. Including my mind map, which is like 40. No super chat because I'm using Restream. I'm using a web-based streaming thing, so my OBS isn't running. And the only reason I'm using it is so that I can do this sort of thing. I officially got a referral for an ASD assessment from my GP today. Congratulations. That is the biggest step, honestly. It really is. GP said the thing, we're all neurodivergent. I think your GP means that, yeah, I suppose in some respects, you talk about like neurodiversity, as in like biodiversity, neurodiversity, then yes, everyone who is alive is currently, in some respects, part of that. And wants me to go back in 6 weeks, not sure why, but I'll take the win I got. Amazing. Back in 6 weeks is probably to see the progress of your referral. It could be, weirdly, for 6 weeks, it could be that they haven't put your referral in and they want to make sure you're sure. But honestly, Eunice, that's the main thing. On getting the courage together to have that conversation with your GP, that's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. That's the hardest thing I've done this whole time, including my YouTube channel, everything. So having that initial conversation with my GP, who did nothing for me, but that's not the point. The point is that's tough. So I see you there. You've done good. Charlie! Getting to be the tea fairy for Bar and I. We're both so sleepy. I think we used all the spoons yesterday. So. Hope you had a nice time yesterday. Hope you had a good time yesterday. I do. Hope you're around for like a bit of after party as well, as we'll be doing that later. Cats, humans, autism. Okay, here we go. Okay, right. I found your ABA question. Can you please explain with why all ABA starts with do this? It kind of drives me nuts. Yeah. So there's different types of activity, I suppose, or different types of things. So they all do start like that. Yeah. So basically, this is kind of a bit of a red flag for compliance-based ABA. But basically, it's like, dog training. You're trying to get your dog to go, come on up, give me a paw, give me a paw. Right, okay, spin, whatever. Or heel. Well, if I keep saying these words, maybe one of my dogs is going to come over here in a minute. But basically, you're trying to you're giving an instruction, and then you're sort of assessing to see how many times does the instruction have to be provided, for example. Did you get a response immediately or not? There's so much that comes out of this. Now, if you want to look into it a bit more, it's called discrete trial training. But there's a few other things that it could be. But yeah, I think I know what you're getting at with this. It starts with a prompt from the therapist, and then it all goes from there. So it starts with the prompt, basically. And that's the prompt. Do this. Does that make sense? That was a really good question. It's a really good question. Thanks for answering. Yeah, it seems so dehumanizing. There's no collaboration, just demand. Yeah, basically. Basically, yeah. Yeah. In fact, to be fair, like what would a neurodiversity affirming paradigm look like? Just hanging out? I think it probably would, to be honest. I think if you think about, I don't want to say good institutionalization, but like, for example, community homes where you have learning disabilities / intellectual disabilities living together, 4 or 5 people in a home or whatever, and everyone's kind of ideally getting along, and the staff there 24/7, and staff are even sleeping in and that sort of thing. They're not constantly berating the residents to go, do this, do that, do this, do that. Why don't you do it? They're just like, the residents decide what they want to do with their lives, and the staff are there to help them, to enable them to be their best person. You know what I mean? Like they want to go swimming, the staff have to fucking figure it out and make it happen. You know what I mean? They're not prompting all the time. Okay. There might be prompting with respect to food. So like, hey, why don't you eat this next? Or hey, have a bit of sausage, whatever. Do you think you can pick this up? Do you think you can blah, blah, blah? There might even be feeding involved, whatever. But the point of the matter is one is support work and the other is training. So yeah, it's a really good question, Corinne. I really like that question. Thank you very much for asking it. Horrible question, actually. Well, it's a good question. It's a horrible reality. But yeah, all ABA does kind of start with a do this. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine APA is a nightmare for PDA then. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it was. In fact, I'm sure it's a nightmare for adults. I'm sure it's a nightmare for anyone with a sense of self, an established sense of self. You'd just be like, no. Can you? Suit prompt, yeah. Prompt does an awful lot of the heavy lifting. If anyone has a question for me, now is a really good time to do it. Basically, there's different types of prompting. But in theory, the principle is you'll do a lot of like hand prompting. So like you don't have to train a cat to do this, but like if you want to like, physical prompting. So you pick it up and then you just, right, you're gonna, Polly has PDA. Polly say, fuck no. Polly say, what the fuck you doing, human slave? What the fuck you doing, human slave? I am not your example. I'm sorry, Bob. I love you. But you kind of go like that, right? So you go like, right there, you go, touch this, touch that, right? And then just slowly, how about just pick up your cup, just etc. etc. That wasn't meowing, that was practically complaining. I'm just going to scroll back on the chat. I'm looking here along the chat. This is how I feature your messages. Sorry, I'm scrolling. Yeah, Bavinci, I'm kind of surprised. Like, you actually watched the video. It's like you guys must be having a much nicer time than watching one of my videos, especially on this. I kind of felt bad for you because I'm like, I know what's happening. I know what's coming up in the video. Don't want to ruin your evening. Okay. Leslie, what do you think of moms, meaning autism moms, right? Saying that they need and could take a break from autism, but autistic kids and adults can't. I don't completely understand what you're saying. Is it to paraphrase, like, so you've got like a caregiver, right? Stay-at-home mom, autism mom type, who's like, I really need a break from this. Is that what you're saying? Respite. They need a break too, frankly. Yeah, they definitely need a break too. Also another place where support should be given. I think it's kind of a lower priority than actually supporting autistic people to live happy, healthy, fulfilling lives. But yeah, I mean, parents, it's hard being a parent, full stop. I'm glad you had an amazing day. I really am. I scored some Christmas tea today with a strong aniseed scent from coming off it. My husband with that. Yeah, maybe don't like leave the tea bag in for too long. If it's like super, super, super strong. I thought the video would be too long, but was enthralled the entire time. That actually makes me super happy because I do worry a lot when I'm editing and I look at my timeline and think, this is boring. I do think, I'm repeating myself too much. This is boring. So yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I also know that there's an awful lot of neurodivergence in the audience, and therefore, not saying not that it needs to be simple, that it needs to be like, it needs to hold attention. Like, there's other things competing for attention, and an hour and a half is a lot to ask of someone. Polly, definitely. PDA Polly. Hey, Bruce. Bruce. Lucy2222, you like the long videos, gives you simplicity during work. Amazing. I did actually think about that when I was listening back to it to make sure it was okay. It did sound a bit like a podcast in a weird kind of way. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate that a lot. Sorry, did we get a clarification on the last question? Did I miss it? I never watch it on the TV. The idea of seeing my face on a TV screen is weird to me. It's really strange. I don't know, just like swap places with me for a second. Like, I'm just in a room on my own. Well, with you guys, obviously, keeping company. But no, this is Bruce. Bruce and Sabre are similar in that they're black cats with 3 legs, but... Oh, and Julian is here, also with 3 legs. This is Bruce. Sometimes known as Bruce Almighty. Sorry, I'm just supporting him. This is Bruce. On his chest, he has a little bat. Sorry, Bruce. I'm not trying to... I'm not trying to garrote you. I'm trying to show the bat. Hey, see it? Right here. He's got a little bat there. This is Bruce Wayne. He's so pretty. Be facing a big old CRT TV. That's like I'm a villain. No, don't do that. Be even worse somehow. Yeah, I can see why that's on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's really strange. It's a bit weird. On the other hand, seeing my face on a computer screen or a phone or a tablet, or whatever, doesn't faze me anymore. It used to. It used to really freak me out. I'm kind of used to it now. But for a big TV, no. Having said that, I did upload the video in 4K. Hopefully I didn't. If you put me on the big screen, maybe don't let me know. But I did upload the video in 4K. So if anyone has a 4K TV, you can watch the video in 4K and spot all of the little mistakes in the video. You can spot them all. Yannicka is ill. Are you okay? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you slept through most of the day, though. That's quite good, actually. That's a good way to recover get your body to recover. I'm glad you did that. I regret not doing that when I'm ill sometimes. Watch all your videos on my gaming TV. Amazing. They're all uploaded in 30 FPS, though. So they're all 30 FPS, but that one was 4K 30. Doesn't mean we want to be on a big screen. No, well, I mean, if I am, I don't want to know. I want to hide. You can see Mike's paws. Oh, no. 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 You make me want to do, like, makeup and face filters and things. It's just 4K. It's just 4K, 4K 30. But the lighting is very good in here. Well, not here, at my desk. I've got a little Elgato, other brands are available, light panel. But there's a big ass light over there. And they do make you look a lot better. They do. They just do. Like a nice big light is really good. Okay, all right, okay. My next video is going to go up in like 360 or 240p, or like old school YouTube. No 8K. Do you know YouTube actually supports 8K? And shit, DaVinci Resolve yesterday dropped a new update which lets you edit 32K. I couldn't edit 32K on my laptop, but I do remember thinking a little eyeliner would really bring out your eyes. I'm going to need some guidance on this. We'll do a makeup day, maybe a makeup stream or something. I need some guidance. We'll get something off of Amazon. We'll do a makeup stream. I'll end up, I'll look like a clown, but it could be funny. I definitely hide my face if everyone tell you on YouTube. It just is what it is. But like TVs are big nowadays. Do you know what is kind of weird? I tell you what is kind of weird in this household. If you scroll YouTube, and then I'll one of my thumbnails will pop up. it's quite weird. I'll just sit there with Nina and the cats and whatever, and then she'll be scrolling the TV, and then like one of my thumbnails arrives, and then I'm like, "What are you going to do now?" You have to click it, and you have to watch it till the end, because otherwise YouTube knows that you didn't click it, and it drops the click-through rate. Makeup is torturous with autism. Yeah, I don't want to be sticky and tacky and stuff. I've got a really good. Do I have one in here? No. No. It's, what's the name of it? Oh, it's SPF. It's like a really nice altruist. I've got two altruists. One's altruist face fluid. One's 30 SPF. One's 50. The 51 is kind of thick, but the thinner one is just perfect. It's just vitamin E. It's just nice, and it's also kind of altruistic as well because it's a charitable sort of social enterprise. It's not a charity, but it's a social enterprise. My daughter's a cosplayer. Unfortunately, I'll have to do with wearing sunscreen all the time. I can really recommend Altruist face fluid to you. It's super good. Yeah, B Corp. I'm pretty confident it's B Corp. It's a very social organization. And it's reasonably priced, and it's like it's the only thing I use. Like it's just, it's great. It's hard to find something that feels nice and doesn't get like sticky and tacky and stuff. I started wearing makeup in my teens, and now I know it was part of my literal masking to fit in. I get that. I see that. I get that. I probably would have done the same too. And you're picky about which makeup feels okay. Right, that makes sense. And do you know, like, I think it's important that like we feel good. I think it's important we feel good as we need to, right? I think that's like, it's important. Like, be comfortable, but also like, but honestly, like a plastic tag for the face. Yeah. Just consistency, texture, it's important. But Altruist face fluid is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. Not sponsored. I don't even have an affiliate link. Unless you want one, I'll go dig one up. But like, they are. Just look it up. It's available wherever. Good, nice history to it too. Sunbum, another brand I've heard that's quite good too. As a face stick I can stand, like rubbing a tiny deodorant stick in your face. Yeah. I've heard of that in relation to someone's kids as well. Like their kid like can tolerate that. Emma! Oh, this is Tosca, everyone. It's Tosca. Tosk. Sorry, did anyone else have any other questions about the AVA video? Oh, we can carry on sun cream if you want. I'll go get it if you like. I'll show you. I feel good knowing that people see me in perfect face is making me used to seeing real people, not AI Photoshop I haven't made up. Yeah, my view is I'm very pro makeup, but I've never there isn't one that works really well. Yeah, I just the texture and stuff is just nah, not happening. Just like if I put anything on my face, it has to be I don't want to be aware that it's there. Okay, so it's like, and I have to keep shaving as well because I hate stubble. It drives me literally drives me insane. I could be having the best time ever. I could be perfectly rested, have no sort of like needs. Everything's like wonderful in the world. But if I can't shave, I will literally melt down. I'm not even joking. And I think I'm like one of the more privileged, lucky ones in that my support needs are relatively low, but there are things. There are things. Okay, I'll get an eyeliner and we will do an eyeliner live stream. I'll try and do eyeliner. It's not going to go well. Take care, Soup. Thank you so much. Did you learn anything positive? Okay, we've got an ABA question. This is on brand. Oh no, I've just... Hang on. Wait, got it. Me but older now asks, did you learn anything positive or useful in the ABA course in the Broken Clock is Right twice a day? Yeah, so there were a couple of things. One of them was just more general, which is like, oh my God, I'm actually learning about ABA practices and procedures and the industry. And this is great. This is brilliant for my content. The other one, I guess it's kind of like a part two to that little one, 1B, I guess, which was just that it was really interesting from a psychological perspective. Like behaviorism is actually interesting. Conditioning is interesting. Classical and then operant is interesting. You know, one of the ways that behaviors can stick, like a particular pro move, is to kind of, you know, not always reward the behavior immediately, you know, intermittent rewards. Something that I'd heard back from my days working with animals, actually animal shelters, this sort of intermittent reward basis, like randomized rewards, a bit like randomized loot boxes for humans playing video games or gambling. That's just intensely powerful to make things stick. Some interesting stuff. I mean, some of this is interesting and almost worthy of making a video about in and of itself, because it's just psychology. It's just interesting, right? But positive. I'm just reading my notes. Hang on. I'm not saying anything positive's come out of it. There's been lots of positives coming out of it, but actually, no. No, not really. I suppose I could say, yes, the field is improving, and I learnt about how ABA is modernizing. Yay! Did that? I mean, is that... I mean, I'll take it for free, you know, like... It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you learn anything positive? No. Useful? Yes. Really good question. Thank you for making me think. That question was really good. It kind of hurt my brain a little bit. That means it's a good question. Forgetting you're wearing mascara and rubbing your eye. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I would look terrible. What would be a gentle way to recommend your video to parents who have their kids in ABA? The questions at the end. Anne-Marie, the questions at the end. I might cut them off and turn them into a short, actually. They go straight for the questions in the end. I probably wouldn't even... I probably wouldn't even hit them with the rest of the video. Feel free to send the video to them. I think it would help them, honestly. Not knowing who they are, but I think it would generally help them. But I think actually just hit them with the questions. This is called almost the Socratic method. Think about like really annoying content creators in the street that ask people questions, and people have to. They're almost arguing with themselves. They're almost arguing with themselves. Just yeah, just ask them those questions. You could literally send them from my video, or you could literally copy paste if you want. Go to the pinned comment on my video. Look in the comment section. Look at the pinned comment at the top, and just copy paste those questions, and then write them in your own words, and off you go. Or just send it as is if you want. I don't care. I think that's literally what I came. Everything is distilled into those questions. Thank you, Charlie. That means a lot to me. Fran, did the research process overwhelm you more than expected? Yes. Did you manage to compartmentalize as needed? I think so. Yeah, I found it really overwhelming at times. There are a few moments where I'm like, holy fuck, I can't believe I actually have to clock in on this one. No. It was horrible just going like, oh my God, I've only done 14 hours. That was by about June, I think. By about June, July, around some June, July, I was like, oh, I haven't even done half of this fucking course yet. And I have to fill in spreadsheets. We're not talking complicated things. None of this is taxing brain stuff. All of it is very easy. Even if you think you're terrible with a computer, you can definitely be an RBT from a tech perspective. You need very little IT skills. Once you've learned how to make a table and turn it into a chart, you're good. You'll be fine. Once someone's shown you know how to do it. And you're just charting behaviors and things, and it's just annoying. I was just getting frustrated with it. A lot of the time I get frustrated with things because I can't speed up and just get it done and out of the way. I have to actually make the fucking homework last an hour. So I'm making the charts pretty. I'm doing different charts. Just, do you know what I mean? One chart in particular, one behavior chart, was so simplistic and stupid. It took me like 2 minutes to finish the exercise, and I had another 58 to waste, but I couldn't waste it because it was a face-to-face section, and it was like, okay, so I'll just make more charts. And I ended on doing this extra exercise, converting like, I don't know, like 20 different statements into objective statements. You know? Oh, the parents were miserable today. Oh, no, let's convert that. Let's rewrite it. But the thing is, because of my work, it was easy. So I'm just translating, almost like an AI. I'm like, okay, no, we're not going to write it like that. We're going to write it objective, measurable, smart, measurable, actionable. What was the other RT one? I can't even remember what those are either. Do you know what I mean? Just, these are not good charts. These are really, really simple ones. Bruce, please don't bite me. Yeah, so some of that was frustrating. Some of it was really, really overwhelming. Right at the beginning, I thought I felt inspired for 10 minutes, and then I felt like shit. Having to listen to meltdowns. No, meltdowns was never mentioned, actually. It's tantrums. Tantrums. I think I heard the word tantrums 1,000 times. I don't know, how well do you think how do you think it went? No, I'm joking, but like, I'm just, it's not good. Ash Barber, our dog trainer said be a fruit machine, not a vending machine. I had something very, very similar. Exactly. Yeah, but that's later on. So to start with, you're a vending machine, you're rewarding everything, right? So until they get the point. And then it's like you move on to this sort of intermittent one, reinforcement. Same with punishment, by the way. Like, has anyone heard the phrase about fearing the dog that, you know, barks versus the dog that bites intermittently? You know, it's much better to have a dog that literally, you know, is going to bite you. You know, it's quote unquote aggressive. It's going to bite you because you know it's going to bite you. Not the one that might bite you on a random Tuesday afternoon out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, you know where you are with the quote unquote aggressive one. The asshole dog, right? You know where you're at. You understand. The thing hates you. It's fine. You can work with that. Not the false sense of security one. It's just an example. It works the other way as well. I thought parenting was compliance based. It is. Yeah, for sure. Of course it is. Yeah. Parents who instill the values, whether they know they're doing it or not, but the parents are instilling values. They don't want their children to be people that they don't like. they instill the values that they have into the children. Yep. ABA also stands for Australian Breastfeeding Association. That's funny. That's really funny. Oh God, what was this thing the other day I was looking up? There's an acronym I was looking up for the video. One of the acronyms is really bad. Don't Google it. It's just really bad. I love the question and your compassionate approach to those situations. Thank you. But I didn't see, not exactly a question, but if you ever wanted to create a psychology study, ABA related or not, I'd love to be part of something like that. Cool. Cool. Right now, I'm in a never say never mode. Yeah. What would it look like? Bench chat with Quinn. Which bench chat, Liz? Was it the first bench chat or the second bench chat? We're moving around the West Country, Southwest England, doing bench chats. The first one was a funny one because it went like this. Quinn said that he wasn't getting a video out or something, and I'm like fuck you are. Come with me. That's how that video happened. It was after we had lunch. Yeah. We were just hanging out, and it was just after lunch, yeah, I'm like, right, you can. The first one, that was the one, yeah, and it was like, right, yeah, like fuck you are, yeah, come on, you know this city. I've never been here before. And he's like, right, there's a park around the corner. Went around the corner. Like, right, cool. Ready? Oh, it's so funny. I just when I've had Quinn and Jen on the stream, they've usually only had half an hour notice, by the way. I have to understand that most people are not like me and they're not so impulsiveful. They need to think about it and plan. If I have time to think and plan about something, sometimes it won't get done. Elmin, like, during your ABA training, did you meet or talk with any of the other attendees online? Other trainees, no, just instructor. Yeah, group chats, but it was one to many. Anyone you were happy to meet and talk with to learn a point of view? No, we were isolated, basically. It was a bit weird. I did wonder about that, actually. That's a really good question, Elmin Light. Really good question. I was kind of expecting more of a cohort kind of thing with like other people, and I'm glad in some respects that they weren't there. If I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm having to interact with people and, share contact details and chat to each other, you know what I mean? Like a cohort. I'm glad that didn't happen, but also I kind of wish that it did. Because I would have felt like an imposter. I'd have felt like a spy. I don't know that I'd have been able to hold that. I don't think I'd have been able to play the part, if that makes sense. Like, I only had to play the part to the trainer. I didn't have to play that part to other trainees. So they were going along at the same time. Oh, God forbid a Discord, oh my God. But yeah, I'm going along at the same time with them all, but not, we had no... And actually that is kind of weird. Do you know what? Now you've said it out loud, you're making me think. I'm just going to show that comment. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, you're really making me think now. That's kind of weird, isn't it? You should absolutely connect the trainees up together and make them do a group project. You shouldn't do that, by the way. Group projects suck. I'm just saying. Intentionally isolated from each other by the organization. Yes, I don't know if it was like part of the course was well constructed and planned, and they've got some pricey software they were using, and you know what I mean. So they had thought this through. They could have done it more cohort based, live cohorts, but they didn't. That's their decision. Other trainers will do things slightly differently. Like I said in the video, the syllabus is set by the BCAB, but the actual structure of the course, you can run these courses in person. You could do them as evening classes at a community college if you wanted to. You'll go through the exact same shit that I did, but obviously you'd meet other people. I think that would add an interesting dynamic. I think there is a chance that the group would start to question the training, Harriet. I agree with you. Because rather than having the individual participants kind of sending their questions up the chain, they'd be griping with each other a bit. They would. Interesting. You would probably have dissuaded a few people from finishing the course. I think I did shut my mouth a lot. I just bite my tongue quite a bit. James Richard, I'm an ABA survivor. I'm sorry. I also read that as I actually read that as I'm an ABA supervisor, which is why I clicked the comment because I was going to ask you some questions. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel observed. Yeah, there was practical aspects to the course. About a couple of hours, 2-3 hours. Well, there were exams. There's an exam. There were tests along the way, little tests. There were assignments. No practical with children. No, that doesn't happen until you've done the course. You have to do the course before they unleash you on kids. But I can be unleashed on kids now, in that respect. That was in response to Kitty in the garden. Yeah. I'm just reading the comments. Was there a moment that you thought, I can't believe it's that bad? Yeah, I suppose from a technical perspective, there were technical problems throughout the course, like audio issues and whatever. Some of the worst bits are in my video. Just talking shit about other disciplines. I thought that was out of place. I'll give an example. So most of my scuba training has been done with the British Sub-Aqua Club, but I have also got qualifications from other training organisations. Now, it does happen. You do get instructors or instructor trainers that work for one organisation and they talk shit about another one, whatever. There's a lot of that kind of culture around in some places. I was kind of surprised to see it in ABA. I was surprised to see this culture of OTs over there, or they're full of shit. Don't look. Oh, speech therapists are rubbish. I thought that was weird. It's kind of out of place. It's like going into Tesco's and them going, well, don't shop in Asda. There's shite over there. It's a weird. It's like I'm sorry, what? What? Now you're getting me thinking about what's wrong with you now. No, serious. This was not banter. This was actually part of a presentation. Scuba was a bit more team rivalry nonsense. I agree. Yes, Scuba was kind of more sort of team rivalry kind of bullshit. My team's better than your team. It's a bit like that. There was a bit of that. But generally speaking, not a lot. Everyone understands that different disciplines do things in different ways. I've been trained, not that I've actually had to do this yet, but I've been trained to recover bodies from the water, for example. God forbid. But that's not done in normal recreational diving. That's a specialist course. And you don't sort of do a professional course where you're learning some sort of technical skill, and they sort of, in the first hour, they start bitching about other courses. It's a very strange dynamic, and I think that is the best thing, James, that answers the question. I can't believe it's this bad. But here's the thing. It made me make a note. I actually have a voice recording of this. It felt unfair to play it in my video, not without contacting them and saying, "Hey, I'm going to put you on blast. I'm going to put you on YouTube. Do you want to answer for your bizarre statement?" So I just paraphrased. And that's the drama. But it's real. It wasn't just bravado and my team's better than your team. It actually is true. There is a prevailing belief inside ABA that ABA is the thing for autistic people. If you have autism, then you need ABA. That is the solution for your problem. That is the culture of what they believe. That's when I said this is a very ABA thing to say. That's because that's what they genuinely believe. And I found that quite weird. I found that really weird. Coming from somebody with an autism diagnosis, but specifically, I have more autism paperwork to dig through for content, I suppose. But specifically, my psychologist was super impressed with how I'd managed to accommodate myself. And it's taken me an awful lot of processing time and reflection to kind of think this through. I made a video about making your oasis, which I think is so important for everyone. Everyone should have a little fortress of solitude, a little something that you can kind of retreat to recharge. I think it's so important. You can have multiple oases in your life, but as long as you know exactly where it is, and you know how to get there at any time, you know what you're doing, you're good. I will make an oasis wherever I go, right? I'll fucking make a little den for myself. I know what I'm doing and where I'm going. I'll make more content about it, but I have a video on the subject. Please watch it. I think it's the #1 skill everyone should have, and a healthcare passport. Fucking be prepared, everybody. But ABA is the solution to the autism problem. And when you think that there are a lot of autistic people, okay, that do not speak, right? So the solution for their problem is ABA. Except it's not, is it? But the reason for that is because what Chloe said. Sorry, I'll get back to everyone else in a moment. I'm sorry, I'll have a little look in a second. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lucia. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a hell of a thing to make this year. There are similarities. Where's the question? I'm trying to grab a question. Okay, there you go. It's more of a statement. It's from Chloe, and it says, "Oh yes, I remember a behavior therapist telling me ABA is the only evidence-based intervention for ABA," which is untrue. But the statement itself and the existence of it is a real thing. Everyone who enters the ABA system gets this thrown at their face. You have to know that this is the only thing, and everyone else is not. No one else is going to heaven. Only we are going to heaven. We are the only route to heaven. Everyone else is not going to heaven. They're all wrong. And the reason that they believe that, I now know. I now have an answer. I now have an answer. I actually legitimately have the answer. I can answer this for you all, and I can point you all at the sources, and I can show you how I figured it out. I actually have a de facto answer. One of my 5 questions, I have a perfect answer for it, and I now know this for a fact. And I can actually say, if you think I'm wrong, then you're wrong. I'm so 100% on this. The reason why everyone who has any interaction with ABA system gets this message of, we are the only answer for autism. We are the only answer for autism. We have all the evidence for autism. The only reason they say that is because they make a lot of their own studies and no one else does. The occupational therapy is not writing We are the solution for autism anywhere. So therefore they don't count. So when you look at the publishing record from the ABA journals, there's about 8 of them, by the way. There's about 8 journals that get all the ABA content. Yeah, it's all ABA. You Google you write autism into their search facilities. It's all ABA shit. It's no one else. But no one else is making ABA papers. No one else is making papers about autism. Like speech therapy will make a paper about autism, but they are not the solution to autistic people. They are not the solution to the problem of having an autistic person living next door to you. But ABA is. Here's a flyer. It's weird. It's really, really weird. Anyone who's watching this who is associated with ABA, and if you're lurking, I just take this away with you. Your entire fucking field entirely relies upon a bit of a lie, a bit of a, I'm not looking, but we have the answer to autism and everything to do with autistic people. We know it. We have the answer. That is what it is. But everyone does it. It blows my little tiny brain. It blows it to tiny little pieces. But it's so interesting. I think they've done it so much. I think if they did it a little bit, they could get away with it. But they haven't. That's how the entire industry works. It's all bullshit. So there you go. You've heard it from me. I will show all of my sources. I just haven't written them up neatly for you all yet, but there's more. Have there been meta studies about like big meta analyses about ABA? Oh yeah, of course there have. Absolutely. There was one published just a week ago, which says that autistic people. Well, they looked at a cohort of over 30,000 autistic children in the United States. Half actually. 17,120 autistic kids matched 1-to-1, controlling for all the other variables that are available, to another 17,120 non-ABA recipients. They were all autistic. And the ones who had ABA sort of billing codes of some description, they had a 30% higher chance of higher likelihood of mental health crises, interventions, hospitalizations, and so on. 32% longer stays, more of them. Doesn't even matter, by the way, how much ABA they had. Before ABA proponents go, see, there's no connection with the amount of ABA and suffering. In that particular study, fine. They didn't find a dose response, but they did. Yeah, sure. I mean, please watch my video. Just save me from having to regurgitate everything about the study. But yeah, sure. It's an observational study, blah, 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 blah. Sure. Yeah, there are problems. Hidden confounders. Maybe some of these autistic kids were in a really fucked up district where people, through autism diagnoses and hospitalizations at the same. Like maybe there were some sort of overzealous Ivar Lovaas fans out there. Could be the case. But 30% is much higher than you would expect by chance. In fact, actually, the number you'd expect by chance here is 0. And in fact, when they looked at the bisecting k-medians is also really fascinating. And I need that paper. I need the full paper. The bisecting k-medians is really, really fascinating as well. Because actually what that does is that controls for sort of like super outliers. So say there are people in that, they're not looking at like averages, they're looking at the medians. So it doesn't, so there will be some, there were, I need to see the data for that, but there will be some big outliers. They don't count. A lot of stuff was controlled for. They controlled for everything that they could control for. We're not talking about Florida, Medicaid, billing records, linking circumcision and Tylenol. We're not talking about, Leucovorin or whatever, tiny little things. We're talking about quite a big study. Actually, do you know what? It's not even contentious. The connections between trauma, PTSD, suicidality, and ABA are established. So we can, you could almost reproduce these studies quite easily. The correlations between masking and shutdowns and burnout, less understood, but it seems patently obvious from a lived experience perspective. Me saying those words, some of you will understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, when you look in the literature for all of the evidence supporting ABA, it is literally all the evidence supporting ABA. It's literally a one big circle. Yeah, Chloe, yeah. So anytime you deal with someone in the ABA field, whether they're selling you something or delivering services or whatever, they're gonna just go. I wonder if Kaylin on the inside of her eyelids has got a tattoo which says ABA is the only proven solution for autism or something, because she'll be hearing it. It'll be thrown at her constantly. Just all those presentations that she goes to, all of those conferences, they'll all be going, we have the science, we have the science. They'll just be saying it over and over and over. Like it's true. Like, but it's not though, is it? Sorry everyone, I get a bit annoyed. I get a bit annoyed by the bullshit. It's very frustrating. The clicker stuff. Oh, I haven't even talked about the fucking someone clicking a fucking clicker at you. Neurotypical or not even. Oh. How about doing a meta study on any connection between OTPT and trauma suicide? Oh yeah, I mean, there's also no plausible link. So, for example, the mechanism is, effectively, it's the gay conversion therapy line. You are trying to force someone to be someone else. That causes a lot of anxiety. It causes a lot of stress. It's very negative. These are very negative experiences. Something that might be perhaps a cold take would be if you have a child and you beat them for 14,000 hours, they're not going to emerge from that experience, as a well-rounded human being. And, animals that get abused. What do we know about that, folks? So it's Harriet, good question. I'll answer that. We'll go to after party fairly soon, only because I need to lower my from Twitch. I didn't know what ABA was, but I was reading about it, and it's like you must mask your autism. Yeah, pretty much. It's we will make you mask it, really, more than anything. ABA, how is it supposed to stop kids from running into the road? Elopement. From an autistic perspective, autistic elopement. There are many reasons for it. There's loads of motivations. So when you say how is ABA supposed to stop it, from a simplistic explanation is you are going to modify their behavior so that they don't want to go out, right? So they will find themselves getting distracted. They'll either self-soothe better, they'll self-manage better, ideally in a more generalistic way. So they'll generalize their training across other experiences. So, for example, if they're running away from home and they're on a school trip, you don't want them running away from the school trip. So if they're not running away at home, then they're not going to run away on the school trip, hopefully, blah, 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 blah. Generalization. It's kind of your end goal. But how are you saying, like, how does it actually work? I mean, it's kind of straightforward, right? Okay, so one of the easiest ways to get somebody to comply is to cause them pain, right? You know, think about law enforcement. Think about how that works when they are trying to stop somebody from running away. Why would somebody not run away? Think about those kind of things. I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm just saying. We are pain avoidance machines. And the pain is an aversive. There are other kinds of aversives. So in places that still practice common use of aversives, I'm thinking places like the Judge Rottenberg Center, which is pretty much almost exclusively aversive. It's quite effective. You can really control people. Generalization in this context, Pardlate, means that you take a skill that you've learned in one place and you can apply it everywhere else. It doesn't mean what it says, like the word. It just means that it can be generalized. It can be applied elsewhere. ABA reminds me of the Russian military meme, the beatings will continue until morale improves. Yeah. So you can think about North Korea. How does ABA work, behaviorism work in North Korea? What's the psychology of North Korea? Okay. Are we thinking along the right sort of lines? So how does that stop kids from running into the road? Quite simply, because they're going to get a punch in the back of their head before they hit the train or the car on the road. If you mean how is it supposed to stop kids, as in like how does it actually work? It just goes, but go back to the beginning of behaviorism, just conditioning. That's how it works. That's straightforward. In fact, it's been Bear, Wolf, and Risley did the how bit. They put together the package of, right, if you do this and you record things this way, this is how you can show that it works. Does that make sense? Have I said that right? Trick question. There are no cars in North Korea. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're not free, I mean, North Korea is a very good example of a completely ABA'd civilization. Alicia, that means a lot to me. I didn't major in psychology, although I have quit a psychology degree. Sorry, that's kind of funny. I did a full computer science one, if it helps. It helps save my reputation. But yeah, that means a lot to me. You are more qualified than I in that respect. Thank you. Fear and pain are powerful teachers, but they're nobody's favourite, to say the least. Indeed, yeah. So, we have a number of different motivations. I for one, am a dopamine seeker. There are different ways, right? And I effectively try to train myself. I try to reward myself in certain ways. I do hey, I'll get to do this if I can do that. I can kind of reason with myself a bit. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Fuck me. But I will grab any 1% little buff that I can if I can in a certain way. That's all. But if you really don't, I'm not saying none of you do. I'm not. When I say you, I'm talking like royal, not you, as in like an individual. But if you want to, train something or someone really, really easily, really quickly, then you apply the shock collar, right? Deploy immediate violence, when something happens that you don't want to happen. I'm not advocating that, but it's been part of behaviorism for a long time. And it's not great, is it? It shouldn't be done. It's unethical. But that doesn't mean that it's not effective. If if someone were trying to do something like that, I would, yeah. I can see how you switched from psychology to computer science. It was the other way around. It was post computer science. I'm like, now I want to do psychology. But yeah. Then try reward behavior. Give a dog treat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But the thing is, look, I mean, so dog training is a really good example, actually, if we talk about how's efficacy defined. Bar Vinci, we can get into this. Thank you very much for supporting me on Patreon. I'll show you. So it's all there. I'm going to dump. I don't just want to just pick up my mind map and my notes and just dump them on Patreon. I want to give some context. I'm going to make a video. I will explain them. We can just, I'll do a screen share and then I'll like talk about them and then I'll be like, here, have fun. There's enough in there to become an RBT if you want to. Cognitive theory superseded ABA, so it should be banned. Well, indeed. There's a number of different aspects to behaviorism that are not necessarily so compliance based. I think part of the issue with ABA, it is the compliance seeking. It's the Pardalate, thank you so much for joining in. If you're up to it, a constructive sort of flow through, if you want, is the big video. It's worth having a watch of the video, the full film. But yeah, dog training first. Yeah, you can't use really aversives with dogs. It's so untrendy right now. It's so uncool. You do not do it. I don't mean shock collars. I mean, so for example, it used to be that people would sometimes with dogs throw. This is weird. Okay, I don't get it. I'm just telling you how it is. I've seen people do it. I've seen dog trainers throw like a bunch of keys or like. You can actually buy products for this purpose. It's like metal discs that you throw on the ground and they make a really nasty metal clanging sharp noise. And that shocks the dog out of whatever it was doing that was not the behavior that you want. And but you see, part of the issue with using aversives from a effectiveness perspective is that you don't know what you're doing. It's not just a case of, oh, look, we've stopped the dog from chewing the furniture. You might also have caused the dog to think, oh, shit, there's some fucking loud, angry ghost in here that wants to eat me and I've got to be on guard all day now and be hypervigilant in case it arrives. You don't know what you're causing. Like, you could be causing all kinds of traumatic experiences that will come back to quite literally bite you later on. But no one cares because you're driving the data down. So, for example, with the dog biting the couch example and the loud aversive noise, sure, if you're charting, and that's how they show the efficacy above INSEE, they show it by going, okay, so today, how many times did the dog bite the couch? Oh, 3. Okay, cool. Well, that was 5 last week, so we're doing good. Let's keep up this program. Let's put this application in to get another week of insurance. We'll get another 40 hours paid for, and I think we might just finish then. So you get another week paid for, you work with the dog for another 40 hours. And eventually the dog is so fucking frightened of you that it doesn't even fucking eat. It pisses itself on the floor. It pisses on the floor. But it doesn't bite the couch. Okay? So you win. ABA worked. The couch is currently unscratched. Look at the charts. Number of scratches this week, 0. Hey. Vinci, we've done it. This dog is now cured. It's recovered as it's shivering on the floor, pissing itself. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's a more visceral example of aversive use in behaviorism and the fact that no one gives a fuck about any of that. No one's looking for anything else. They're just going, look at the sheet, look at the graph, look. That's fine. It's great. This is so effective. It's the only scientifically effective therapy for dogs. This is how ABA is done. Maybe I need to be a little bit more sane and write that down as a story and film it for a short. You might see that again. But yeah, the harms are not monitored. Everything else, if you aren't using positive redirection, you're just terrifying the dog for no reason. Exactly. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just trying to analogize, but it's an analogy from stuff I know, not dog training. Really, I don't really know much about it. I just treat the dogs nicely, and I have expectations. I love a good graph, but support like what's measured and things outside the graph. Yeah, but ABA doesn't. ABA is literally, the graph is God. The graph is God. Like, nothing else matters, and I mean that. So I've taken that knowledge and that experience, and I've just blended it into the question for the parents to avoid the situation, which is, what else are you measuring? Is it just the behaviors, or is it how are you measuring? I don't want to say harms, because that gets people's backs up. You can't say, how are you measuring how fucked up you're making my child, my lovely autistic son, daughter, whatever. How are you fucking them up? You can't ask that, but you can say, well, if they say no, what happens? How do we record their happiness? How do we record their sense of self? How do we protect them? And I know full well that the answer is you protect them by running as fucking far away from the clinic as you can get. I know it's a rhetorical question. I know that the correct answer is you protect them by taking their hand and walking out that door and never looking back. Anne-Marie, thank you very much for the reminder. Let's do a 2-minute break. During that 2 minutes, make a cup of tea, ads will play. Do you know what? I don't know if ads will play or not. But if I could quickly drop an advert in lieu and just say thank you to everyone who's supported me on Patreon. And I'm not trying to sound like fucking capitalism or scummy or anything, because I know that if you can't afford it or you don't want support, it's fine. It's okay. And by the way, if you've supported me and it's not for you, or you've got everything you need and you just can't do support, it's fine. I don't even know, although I might miss you, but like I'm not monitoring what people are doing or whatever. Like, you just do you take what it is you need. It feels like a fair exchange. Okay, it feels like positive and healthy. It doesn't feel like scummy. But if it isn't for people supporting me on Patreon and stuff, then this would not be possible. And I really do mean that. If like the channel made something like I don't know, $100 in November. I can't live on $100. I can't even pay for like one like vaccination of one cat with that. Like, it's just nothing. If it's not for the support on Patreon, it couldn't have been done. So what I am saying is, and I said it before, but you guys made that video happen. I know I put the time in, but you guys paid for the training. You've paid for like everything. You've paid to give me something to eat while I'm working, because like software engineering apparently is not something I do anymore. So you've like literally made that happen. So that is literally all on you, and you all know who you are. Your name may or may not be on the end of the video, depending on whether or not you want it to be there or not. Some people want to be anonymous, but there you go. Let's do a quick tea break. We'll come back for another half an hour. I'll answer a few more questions. I'll try and be quick. And then we'll do our after party. And so that's on Discord, which is 24/7 Scratching Post Discord community. And I shit you not, it's the best Discord community in the world, and everyone's amazing, and there's some really cool things. I'm even sitting on happy things that I'm not telling you about. I'm like, I would just quite like to just tell you, but I'm not. I'm sitting on happy things that I can't even tell you about. Thank you, Lorax. I appreciate that. So I will. Oh, we can talk about token economies if you want. That's not what Patreon is. Patreon's not a token economy. I'm just. But like 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm sitting on happy things, which I'm not telling you about because, you know, a little bit early. And I'll see you in 2 minutes. Like, I'm just going to boil a kettle. It might take slightly longer than 2 minutes. In the meantime, watch this.
Hi, baby.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Don we now our gay apparel. Fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la.
Hi, baby.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Don we now our gay apparel. Fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la.
Hi, baby.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to.
In the darkest night she takes flight, a fluffy force, a beacon of light, with a man of fury and a heart so pure. Hydra the cat, ready to endure. Oh yeah, she browsed the land with eyes of gold. Hydra the cat, ready to endure. Oh yeah, she browsed the land with eyes of gold. A guardian she is. Hydra reminds us all to hydrate on the door. Hydra the kid with the fiery roar. She's here to rock our souls to the core, to the core. In our pulse we find a connection so free. Hydra the cat, reminding us to be rockin' free. With her mighty tail she sweeps the night. Crosses from legs, a regal sight. To the core. In her pulse we find a connection so free. Hydra the cat, reminding us to be. With her mighty tail she sweeps the night. Crosses from legs, a regal sight. On the screen she's fierce and bright. Hydra the cat, a guiding light. Hydra with the cat, don't you forget.
but I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Hydra leads us every day. Hydra the
That's so
cat,
funny.
reminding us to be rocking free. Hydra the cat, reminding us to be rocking free. Under the moon, her kingdom shines bright. With kittens in tow, she's a powerful sight. Every warriors, an army of night. Hydra lead them through the darkest night. In a mane of fury, a beacon of light. Her heart so pure, a guardian in flight. From dusk till dawn, they chase and play. Hydra and her kittens, rocking every day. Hydra, the killer with the fiery roar. The kittens are here to rock our souls to the core. To the core. In their palms we find a connection so free. Hydra leads them through the darkest night. In our mane of fury, a beacon of light. Her heart so pure, a guardian in flight. From dusk to dawn, they chase and play. Hydra and her kittens rocking every day. Hydra, the killer with the fiery roar. The kittens are here to rock our soul to the core. To the core. In our palms we find a connection so free. Hydra and her army, rocking eternally. Hydra the cat, reminding us to be rocking free.
What did you think? Sorry, new folks. Yeah, a bit of server lore. So I was live streaming a little while, a couple of years ago, and and Hydra had some babies. It was kind of unexpected and very antithetical to my previous life working in cat rescue. But she got out and she escaped. Extinction. Anyway, two of the kittens are with Wendy and family, and two of the kittens are with Helen and family. Well, Suno audio streams were good. In fact, that started off as an AI song, just messing around. But as you saw, it has been re-recorded with real musicians. So yeah, sorry. Hey, Hydra baby. This is the Hydra, just so you know. We could do a cat yodeling session, a cat yodel theme, maybe at Christmas. Hey, come on in. Psst, psst, psst. Come on, sing your song. The song of your people. The song. Hydra. Well, first of all, you've got to annoy them a little bit. See, hang on. Hydra. She's not annoyed, she's happy. she's too happy. She needs to be annoyed. Hang on. Oh, that was a good one. Come on, Christmas caroling soon. Oh, it's wet. Ugh, it's not wee, I promise. It's just like mud and... I won't perform for humans. She's like, I know what you want. No. She's actually just not do it. Yes, the cat yodeling diploma. It's just a module as part of an overall feline handling certificate. Speaking of which, I actually do have a feline studies diploma. I legit have a feline studies diploma. I am. Do you want a feline studies TED talk? Okay, let's hurry up because we're running a bit short on time. So for those that are reasonably new, you can see it. So Hydra Rising, if you search, you can find all of this stuff, by the way. If you start your rabbit hole on the Hydra Rising music video on YouTube and look in the description and comments and so on, you can then go to the actual live stream where the kittens arrived, and you can even go and see like some photos from like meeting like people that I've met via this channel. I've made some lovely friends via this YouTube channel. It's just incredible, honestly. I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled. I won't play it on your devices. So anyway, yeah. So the song is called Hydra Rising by Autistic AF. You can access it on all platforms. It's everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, Idol, all the other ones I don't know. It's just everywhere. Right. Where is the... Yannicka, I remember the first time you played this, and then the NI version at the first time. Yeah. So, I forgot to mention for the new people. Yeah. So the song's in 3 parts, right? So everybody heard the AI version of the first 2 parts, and it was just kind of a funny thing that we made. Well, I made an AI version of the 3rd part, saying the kittens are here, etc., etc. And then later on, again, there was another surprise where I sort of like dropped the actual music video. The actual music video. Oh, do you know what? Working with those musicians was so fucking funny. It was so funny because they were all like, "What the hell?" They were all like, "What the hell?" And I pranked everyone with the legs to make it play Hydra Rising. I was like, yeah, isn't that funny? So anyway, sorry. So anyway, the kittens are here playing on that song was the first time that people heard anything about kittens. And it was a kitten live stream on Tuesday, and no one knew anything about it. If you thought you were squeaking, Yannicka, I was literally here like this, like, because I knew what was coming, and I'm like, oh my god, I've started playing it, and I'm going, no, like this. That's what was going on behind the scenes whilst that video is playing. Oh, it's so funny. Sorry. Right. I'm far too happy. Let's talk about ABA. 40 hours a week, weekdays, 8 hours a day. What does one day schedule look like? It varies, honestly. It really, really does. A lot of the 40-hour-a-week ABA schedules seem to be reliant on schooling or some third party where the kid will go. So, interestingly, someone dropped a comment on the YouTube video and sort of suggested that it might be suspicious that it's 40 hours a week because it could be actually like, oh, look, that's kind of like a full-time job for someone. So not only is it a full-time job for a therapist, it's also kind of like full-time daycare for a child. So it all sort of matches up a little bit. So the 40 hours a week is kind of suspiciously perfect for kind of child minding, you know? Just thought I'd point that out. But it can vary. But what does a daily schedule look like? It's fucking intense though. It's intense. I can't believe I was here before the kittens. Yeah, I think you can kind of date yourself based on server lore. Like, were you like pre or post kittens? Were you pre or post to the moon? Some of you will know what I'm talking about. Pre or post Minecraft server? Well, the Minecraft server is still a thing, and I fully intend to stream it. I have not been in the zone, but I'm kind of getting back to life soon. Layla P, ding, ding, ding. You mean for the 40 hours a week thing? Yeah. Do you know what? I never really thought, why is it 40 hours and not 45 hours? Or 35 hours? Or 38 hours? Or 37 and a half hours? Or 50 hours? Or 30 hours? Or 20? Why is it 40 hours a week? It's just, it just matches up. It's like a Venn diagram, isn't it? Of like babysitting, kadunk 40 hours, and then you've got like expensive babysitting, sure, but like, and then you've got like a work week for an adult. It just fits perfectly on top. It's suspicious. And then also like a full-time job for an adult, you know, therapist. But rather than fish tank, yes, Wendy, yeah, pre and post fish tank. Yeah. Like you can kind of sort of date yourself. Isn't it weird? I will post another server lore update or something. How about this? How about Aurora, the Aurora Borealis live stream? The Aurora Borealis live stream. Oh my God. That was one of the best nights of my life. On the live stream. An impromptu live stream that wasn't going to happen. That happened because of TJ. I'm not sure if TJ's in the stream right now, but like TJ, I remember where I was as well. I was walking up the stairs. I'm on my phone and I see on Discord he posts about there might be an Aurora tonight. Where you are, he says on Discord. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I mentioned it to Nina and she says, well, why don't you just go stream it? And I'm like, oh yeah, fair enough. Set up and do a really shit Aurora stream is what happened. I set up 2 cameras and pointed them north. Do you know why? Because I live in the Northern Hemisphere and it's the Northern Lights. Duh. They were so fucking intense. They became the zenith / apex / everywhere light show. Mostly to the south, weirdly. They'd gone completely overhead. Couldn't believe it. Completely missed the Northern Lights. We were looking at the moon and we were looking at a peacock in the trees. I just pointed the cameras at random shit because it was kind of like, oh wow, this is boring. Jenny K, yes, I remember you from the live stream. No, don't worry about missing the Aurora stream or whatever, but it was one of the best nights of my life. Just, it legit was. In fact, do you know what made it even cooler? The Aurora stream was then seeing pictures from people all over the world because the sun never sets on the autistic apps posting the Aurora. Did I say that right? I feel like I've said random words. The sun never sets on the autistic apps. The Aurora was visible. So people were posting that the Aurora was in Minnesota, in the US. The Aurora was in Colorado. The Aurora was in Europe. European autistic cats were posting pictures of the Aurora. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. It was just like, ah! I still have messages from you saying you're not going to think about setting up Discord for at least the next 6 months. Yeah, that's true. This is true. This is very, very true. That's very true. Actually, that is a very good. There's a very good brain hack, by the way, which is literally, I guess, putting off a decision, but also sometimes putting off a decision to a certain day, like time, and going, right, that is when I will look at that thing. It's not bad. It's like permitted procrastination. It's like a way of saying, okay, I'm procrastinating, but I'm not really procrastinating. I am gonna, you know what I mean? Steal it from me. It's just like, Miss Pat though, it was one of the best things. Charlie, look at the live stream again. Look at the Discord. You can actually scroll back in the Discord, search for Aurora in the search bar. It was like, it's just like, there have been some amazing moments. Like unforgettable moments from my perspective, from what I can see. This whole community is so fucking amazing, and it's really weird because it's really unrelatable, and I cannot actually say this out loud because no one fucking believes me. Everyone thinks I'm a liar. Like no one except you guys knows. Like not even family, by the way, because like, you know, family would be like, oh, I've watched this video of yours, and cool. Do you like it? Right, yeah, fine. That's it. That's as far as the conversation goes. No one will get it. No one will fucking get it. No one fucking gets it. But it's been an incredible hell of a journey, really. Thank you all for your support and for making it, you know, into more of a fixture as opposed to just a random YouTube channel. Did we have any ABA questions? I'm not talking about ABA again, if that makes sense. It's just now is a very good time. It's fresh on my mind and it's fresh on everyone's mind. Did anyone want to challenge me on anything? You are welcome to. And yeah, I'm literally looking at my mind map right now. So like, and I'm going to share it with you all. But again, like I'll mention it later. You don't need, no one needs to remember anything. I'm giving you no burdens here. But like, it is like, the mind map is not made for like, it's not made for publication. it's kind of like, it's my thoughts as I'm going along. I'm just making nodes on the mind map and filling them in. But don't go like, ABA 40-hour thing, okay? What do you want? What do you want to know? What about it? Have you said anything to your supervisor since? No. Barvinci, no. Do you think I should? So, I actually have voice recordings of them. But I'm not, you know, it's unfair to then just, you know, because I kind of feel like I have to like pull a mask off and go, surprise, motherfucker. That feels really horrible. Actually, do you know what I mean? Like to a person who's not done anything wrong, you know what I mean? Like it's not like George Reckers in his car and stuff, you know, where I think it should be surprise, motherfucker. But like, do you know what I mean? But so I sort of, and I think if I was a proper journalist, I would have actually used the footage and then asked them for comment, right? But I think I was too scared. I don't know. I mean, timing as well. Like, there's so much I wanted to do that I didn't do. Like, just at some point I had to just call it and just right. That is what it's going to look like. Tough. It's just going to have to be like that. But I wanted it to be better. They'll be pretty miffed if they come across the video. They'll know who they are. And yes, I'm happy to tell them. I think I probably will send them an email and go, hey, just letting you guys know. That's fine. My name on the course was Mike AF. Okay. But I filled in, obviously on that leaderboard, I used the name Autistic AF for the first time because I felt like it just needed to be in there, you know what I mean? like so that other people see it. I don't know. It's just playfulness. I can't explain it. We just felt like the right thing to do. Also, my trainer said everything correct. Some of the things that they said were wrong, but they were wrong because the program was wrong, not because they were a bad person. Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like they were part of the system. They were wrong, but they were not trying to mislead me. Are they in position to annul any qualification you've received? Yes, they are. And that's okay. I saw a few more questions that I didn't answer it. If it's doing good work, nothing to be worried about for sure. I feel like I should have, if I were to name them or show them, I needed to give them the right of answer. Can I honestly tell you this? I did write to an awful lot of ABA clinics. I lost count in the end. I sent the same message to quite a lot of ABA clinics. And most of them are just ghost, no response, zero response. Like, huh. They got the email, but it's just like, huh. Okay. Yeah, okay. Is ABA widespread in the UK, Mike? No. But it is here. And it is here as ABA. There are ABA supervisors, there are ABA clinics, private ones. But nothing like the US. God no. I'd be surprised if the UK is making is like more than £10 million a year. Whereas in the US it's like many billions. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's a whole, oh my god, it's like a whole. It's like it's and I mean even per capita it's not. Most people don't know about ABA over here. But, no, ABA is not widespread here. Having said that, France, Australia, notably, other countries too, are starting to adopt ABA. So UK is probably a better place for avoiding ABA than most westernized countries. Yeah, surprise, I'm the imposter. Ha ha ha. I don't know. I've never been in that position before. This is not normal for me. I'm not a journalist. What does NHS Nice say about ABA? A really good question. I don't know. I don't know. I looked at, when I was writing the documentary, I was focused exclusively on America. So most of my audience is from America. Most of you guys are Americans. Specifically, I was aiming the documentary at parents and practitioners predominantly, and you guys second. Sorry. All of the other videos are made for you guys, but that one was made with I was addressing a different audience. In my mind, I'm talking to someone else. I'm hoping that it kind of breaks through with parents and practitioners a bit. I don't think that NICE does not say don't use ABA. What was that? But does recommend using play-based child-led approaches. There you go. Amazing. Thank you, Chloe. It doesn't sit right. So if you remember that I pointed out the bioethical, well, actually, fuck that. Just ethics board. ABA would not pass an ethics board test. There's no ethics board. It wouldn't pass an ethics board test, like at all. Like it just wouldn't. So I don't know. You know, it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't be able to recommend it, but that doesn't mean it can't sneak in privately. You know. Your daughter wanted talking therapy instead. All right, cool. These things can be helpful. I mean, they can also be kind of a little bit shit, but I mean, but ABA is kind of like actively harmful. ABA is trying to change the person, and that never ends well. It never ends well. Joe the Counsellor, I was astounded to learn about the origin of the 40-hour gold standard. Yeah, indeed. The 40-hour gold standard is rather weak. As for the origin of the number 40, as in why 40, why not 30? Why not 30? Yeah, I mean, someone dropped a hot take, medium take, cold take, you guys tell me, that it's to do with the working week. Because think about, it makes perfect sense, right? You've got a therapist, you've got a worker, you've got a practitioner, you've got a whatever, psychologist, whoever. One client, one worker, one professional clinician, one contract. Everyone's happy, right? There's none of this like, shit, we've got this client for 12 and a half hours. We've got this one for like 17 hours. It's just like, you've got 40 hours, one person. It's easy. Oh, they're off sick? No problem. Someone else can fill in for them. It's just 8 hours today. Oh, it's so easy. It just makes sense. That's really kind of you. This is what you've just said there is what I was hoping you would say. I was hoping that you would think that. As it happens, I think I am very much on the I hate ABA. I think that's where I'm sitting. I don't think it can be reformed because I'm pragmatic and I've been around and I don't think this organization can culture change. Because it's bigger than just one organization now. It's actually across multiple organizations and everyone's making billions from it. Like, I'm not even joking. In the US, making billions. Like, you can't change somebody's mind if their salary depends on them not changing their mind. So, is there anything in the course about encouraging people to be volunteers for ABA? A lot of people on Love on the Spectrum appear to volunteer. I tried asking them that question. I had no response. Good question. That was part of my research. If you are from Love on the Spectrum, we know the cast. Some of them have had messages from me. 0 responses. No one owes me a response, first of all. Nobody owes me a response. I am owed nothing. There is no obligation, and I will not have it read as a bad thing. But I've had nothing. Make of that what you will. And my hot take, if you want a hot take, which is completely not based on anything, you guys will have better ideas than me on this one, because this one is not part of anything. I think that they've just grown up in an ABA world. I think they've grown up. It's almost like church, right? So they've grown up. The family goes to church. Their friends go to church. Their neighbors go to church, and it's the same church. What I'm trying to say, specifically the same church. And it's just like a barbecue at the weekends. Everyone gets together and cooks up a barbecue, whatever, and it's just what you do. It's just they're just helping out at the clinic, or they're just helping out at the church. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I think, hot take, they're just participating in the activities, the general ambience, the noise. They're with their friends, they're with their family. It's just, you know what I mean? I don't think there's anything necessarily dark about that. I think it is kind of fucked up, but it'd be pretty funny if this video lands Mike on enough. Keep an eye on this guy list to drive up watch numbers. What does that mean, Anne-Marie? It's like a culture, back to being like a cult. Yeah. There are parallels. I don't want to go there so late in a live stream. My poor voice. Okay. Danielle Marie, my 5 questions can apply to all childcare, and I believe that all childcare can answer it over the time it takes to drink half a cup of tea very quickly, very straightforward, don't you? What if my child says no? Be like, oh man, well, we'll let you know. We'll let you know at the end of the day for sure. If there are any incidents, we'll call you in. Blah blah blah. We can role play this if you want. Like any childcare, it's all straightforward, right? Like what you got to hide? Like what's the deal? Like what's any childcare? It's straightforward. Oh hey, Mike, we had an incident today. Okay, what happened? Well, this happened with this child, or blah blah blah, or your son, blah 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 blah. Okay, all right, no worries. Is there anything you need from me? Is there anything I can do? No. We're going to do this and blah 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 blah. And it's like, cool, great, brilliant. Thank you so much for letting me know. These conversations cannot happen. These conversations cannot happen with a lot of ABA practitioners, I feel. I feel like those questions I gave are too... They're based on some hard truths that I think a lot of places would not want to go near. We're not going to challenge them on the science, just asking some very simple questions. They're the best questions I could come up with. At the same time, it creates a sense of belonging in them. It creates the perfect setting to keep them seeing themselves through this cultural template. There you go. See? Like, I don't have to do anything. I just host you guys and you come up with these sentences that are clearer than mine. If I spoke like this, then I would have my voice would be working properly today. Easy. That's what I think about it. I'm open to change my mind. I don't know, but it's not just about love on the spectrum, cast members and those associated. It's just in general. When I see a lot of like walks for autism and this sort of stuff with Autism Speaks, it's the same thing. My feeling is this. Thank you very much. It's about the sense of belonging. It's all that sort of stuff. And a lot of that sort of periphery is not necessarily harmful, right? But yeah, I mean, I think it's icky, but still. Yeah, Elmin Light. It took me a long fucking time to come up with those questions. Actually, that was my intention all along, by the way. I felt like the film needed to have a purpose. It couldn't just be an aimless. I can't just leave it with people feeling helpless and distressed. It didn't feel safe. Do you know what I mean? Like psychologically, it didn't feel like a safe way to leave people. So I wanted to leave people with something that they could do about it, or empower people. And the best way to empower people was to just give them those questions, because those are the right things to ask. And I can't think of any better ones, but if anyone can, let me know. I will bite them in my head and I'll distill them, and maybe we can crowdsource a better template for prospective ABA people. I could put it on the website, even something public, just... I feel like by asking those questions, they'll think about what it is they want exactly. I think probably the most important one, and this one wasn't really from my brain, it was from the Adult Autism Assessment Handbook, which was kind of like, who sets the priorities? Is it your child? That's a fucking weird thing to say, isn't it? Like, you go. Yeah, you're interviewing a therapist and you're like, okay, so who sets the target behaviors? And they'll be like, well, you do. I was like, what? I thought you did. You're the professional. Oh, I will suggest some. Okay, then. No. But what do you mean the child sets the priorities? They just want to eat chocolate and ice cream all day. But seriously, like... But the child wants to access the playgroup and they're scared. They're worried that people are going to ignore them or bully them or exclude them or whatever. Oh, fuck. Okay. Right. Well, the child's definitely got a problem there. How do we help the child? How do we help the child? Fuck, you don't use ABA though, do you? ABA is not the answer to helping that child access play or access school. So my questions are they are not rhetorical, but I know that hidden underneath them is the answer. The answers they're not going to get the answers they want from ABA. An ABA practitioner cannot give those answers. Another one is asking about, do you work with other practitioners? Do you work with occupational therapists? How naughty is me, am I? Parents will watch my video and then they'll ask the ABA clinic, do they work with OTs? Knowing full well that they've been trained to hate OTs. Do you know what I'm saying? They were couched in the video multiple references to helping LGBT people. Oh God, LGBT people, fucking queer, trans, non-binary people. I mean, fucking hell, you guys have had a hard fucking ride. So the experience of autism and being cis-het, I don't know if it's fair to just label myself as cis-het. I'm just Mike, okay? But like, my point is that I've never been part of queer community or whatever, right? But a lot of this stuff, when you've got Ivar Lovaas and George Reckers coming together, George Reckers with his Family Research Council bullshit, I just need a strapping man with fantastic abs and a wonderful ass, apparently, uncircumcised too, to help me carry my luggage on a trip to Europe. Paid for by donations from people who really don't like gay people very much. Literally, it comes together directly with the experience that autistic people had. You got George Reckers, Ivar Lovaas, literally colleagues. My brain has gone blank. There's an American university beginning with H. Sorry, it's not H, it's H, isn't it? H. I can't remember which one it was. But that's where they're working together. First. The chat's going to go wild in about 10 seconds. And then, but yeah, it's so difficult for parents of children. And I just think like the whole kind of like gender identity stuff with children with respect to ABA. It is Harvard. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Just the experience, I just think it's bizarre that you try and like just change a young person so much. Just over focusing on their sexuality just feels weird to me. Focusing on the gender is just kind of strange as well. And yeah, ABA is as much a problem with respect to conversion therapy as it has been for autistic people. It's the same shit in the same centers, using the same practices with the same staff, backed by the same researchers. It's all the same. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, thanks, Elwin Light. Thank you for that. We'll do the after party fairly soon. Just saying. So yeah, it just made me feel so sad. The people who had to go through that. It's really difficult. And then editing it and an editing software is like really weird. You have to listen to it like over and over and over again, you know? I'm sorry, I've been ignoring the chat on my little rant there. But yeah, I'm still reeling from just quite how bad things are. Things were quite a lot worse with respect to behaviorism, conversion therapy, which is still legal in some US states, the spin-offs of conversion therapy that use loopholes to make it accessible in all US states, and ABA and its spin-offs, the whole thing, the gold standard thing, the whole evidence-based thing. It's just, they're just inviting people to look under the cover. It's like saying we have the best car engine in the world, but no, you mustn't look under the bonnet or whatever you guys call it in the US. Like trunk, isn't it? Do you know that's the back? Whatever, the hood. No, you mustn't look under the hood. And it's like, you know, it's all Wizard of Oz, isn't it? It's like we you know, you look behind the curtain and then there's some, like, you know, it's not some more powerful wizard or whatever. It's just some insecure guy pulling all the levers, you know? Like that's literally what ABA's gold standard bullshit is. It's fucking Wizard of Oz. And I wish I'd thought about this during my video, because I would have made the analogy right there. I was thinking more marching more on myself. Well, it's very Wizard of Oz, and it begs the question. The Emperor has no clothes. Yeah, it begs the question to go and look. Okay, gold standard evidence. Let's have a look at it then. A lot of it is accessible via Google. The Wizard of Oz actually is a really good analogy, by the way. I really think you guys should settle with that for a bit, because it's Emperor's No Clothes. Sure, it's a puny little wizard playing games with people to make them think that all powerful wizard or whatever. But yeah, it's not the case at all. And I don't know if we should be encouraged by that finding or not. Wizard of Oz, psychopath behind the curtain. Yeah, it is. Yeah, insecure as well. Like Wizard of Oz, but with venture capitalists. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry for anyone watching the video back. It's this comment here. It's like, yes, Wizard of Oz, but with venture capitalists, and weird insurance stuff. I didn't even mention the whole American insurance thing. I'm sure there's like kickbacks and clever ways of tax writing off and just all sorts of weird, stupid money shit on numbers on spreadsheets. Bullshit going on. I'm sure there is. You know, hand over to some other proper creator for that, like proper journalist to go and do proper journalism on the whole insurance side of things. But yeah, I mean, the billable hours is like quarter of $250,000 for gold standard ABA in the US per year. It's more than $250,000, by the way. Add it up. Average billing rates vary between $120 US to $200 US per hour, 40 hours a week. Please, someone math it for me. It's more than $250,000. I said $250,000. I'm underestimating. I'm giving you cheap ABA. I'm giving you value ABA. I'm giving you Black Friday ABA. I'm giving you literally a 30% discount on your ABA here. I'm way under quoting on how expensive this shit is. Oh, that's depressing. But that was a funny analogy. Marcy, the older I get, the more I see how much smoke and mirrors wherever I go. Yeah. But in this space, holy shit. I had no idea how fucked up it was. I had no idea quite how fucked up it was until I came to edit as well. I'm finding more. I'm going on. And Bird can post links to do try and chat. Are you guys having a disagreement about something? Can I say whatever it is about? You can post links in chat, yeah? Yeah, links in chat do work. I'm pretty confident they do. They won't work in comments. So just for everyone's advice here, you can also mention like what to look up if you want to mention stuff. You're all free to do that regardless. Yes, you can. If you try and post a link, by the way, on a comment of one of my videos, every YouTube channel has this option. They can enable links or disable links. I have chosen disable links because, as you've seen during this live stream, we sometimes get spammers doing crypto and other scams. It's just bots and shit. Mostly from Twitch, but it happens on YouTube as well. So links are off because if I turn links on and go to bed, I wake up in the morning and there's like tons of like Bitcoin and crypto scams. Like, click here, Autistic AF is doing a crypto giveaway, Bitcoin giveaway, and I'm like, I'm fucking not. I have some interesting crypto stories to tell you at some point, but yeah. But yes, more contentious stuff when I have more energy and Yannicka is here, etc. etc. Another time, ABA coin. Oh my god, ABA coin to fund what? To fund conversion therapy. You could spam the spammer in the chat, Mike. I've actually banned like a few already today in this chat. I just have to be like, my brain can't do it all. I can't do it all. Sorry. Joe, take care. This is pretty much the end, by the way. We've gone beyond time. I want to thank everyone, by the way, for participating, for joining in, for watching my video on ABA. I appreciate that people want to watch this live stream afterwards. With respect to Yannicka must be punished. No. The whole thing is like just for people watching this afterwards, that's why I'm doing a spiel. Just thanks so much for watching. Yes, we'll be on Discord afterwards. I get how stressful and emotive a lot of this can be, and I'm not sitting on the fence. I would have said that I'm not a good example, so I'm not going to sit on the fence, or I didn't know if I was going to make a fence sitting video or not. I feel icky doing it. I feel like I'm not being true to myself. So I think I've made my feelings pretty clear. I have had some weird correspondence, some unhinged correspondence, accusing me of being both joining the evil team, I shit you not, and also on being just hating everything and being sensitive, woke snowflake, whatever. What I would like you to do, if that is what you are inclined to send me, is just have a little watch of the first act of my video. It was not a huge investment of your time, and if you look at the social proof in the comments from people on all sides, you might just find it an entertaining watch. It might be a useful thing to watch before you contact me to let me know how you feel about various things. The other thing is, I don't think that the industry's going anywhere soon, but I do think that people can be empowered to understand and advocate for themselves and their children. Parents want what's best for their kids, right? ABA is, and the ABA doesn't claim to be a children's thing, but it is. ABA's customers are not adults. There's no adults going and getting themselves ABA. Adults can see through it. Every single adult sitting down getting a discrete trial training, they see through that shit. You've got somebody with a clipboard marking you for doing things right and going, well done, oh, well done. Adults see through that. And if they can't see through it, then they are not in a position, because they lack the capacity, in my opinion, to book themselves in at an ABA clinic. Or the money. It's a lot of money. So that's my position. And I'm pretty much sticking to it. I feel like people can be given the information. I don't think it should be hidden. The ABA industry, if you are watching this, some of you know, don't bullshit me about, oh, you are the gold standard, your evidence is this, or someone from Harvard says that, and I'm not from Harvard, so therefore what the fuck do I know? Don't try and bullshit me. ABA studies are, the vast majority of them are conflicted with lies about their conflicts of interest. They're really piss poor, little Timmy in a clinic, one person having, one chart, and then it's all getting celebrated and awards and shit because their bad behaviors have gone down, maladaptive ones have gone down. No one is looking at the harms. If you are a researcher, look at the fucking harms. If you're a parent, ask those questions in my video. Copy paste them into an email, send them to the clinic. Treat the response you get back as data. And if any of this stuff has brought up anything for you, you probably aren't 3 hours into a live stream talking about it, to be fair, if you're watching it as a VOD. If any of this stuff has brought stuff up for you, I get it. I do. I haven't experienced ABA myself, but that doesn't mean I'm trauma-free. I get it. I sort of see you. So, sounds piss poor, doesn't it? It doesn't sound like a solution. Just don't have a solution. But have a chat in the comment section. That sounds shit. It sounds so poor, doesn't it? It sounds so weak. But, this is why we need to get to a position where autistic people are not getting traumatized. Prevention is better than cure in that respect. And lastly, practitioners that are neuro affirming. Good luck. I think when you have good people in a culture that is around them, they crumble and they burn out and they break. And this is every human. You are all susceptible to that. And don't be a hero. Look after yourself. You can't fix an industry on your own. My personal opinion is no, I even if I had to, I would much rather I would much rather have no work than work as an RBT, if I'm honest with you. I think it would damage me psychologically every day. But good luck if you are a neuroaffirming kind practitioner. I don't think everyone goes into it as a bad person, but I think if you spend a lot of time in it, it will harden you and it will ruin you. There you go. That's my 2p. Give me 10 minutes. I'm gonna have a cup of tea, have a little chat with Nina, and then we'll do after party where we'll play some games and we'll have some fun. And it's lighthearted and like amongst friends. If you want to join, it's on the Discord. There's an after party channel down at the bottom. You get access to Discord. You can connect your existing Discord account or make a new one if you've never used it before. By going to my Patreon, and sorry I have to do a Patreon CTA, but it's thank you for those of you that do. It makes the difference that makes everything possible. It means I can be professional mode about things as opposed to just like whenever I get around to it. Thank you all very much. I'll see you. I knew that was going to happen too. I'll see you all. I'll see you all soon. I don't know.
In the darkest night, she takes flight. A fluffy force, a beacon of light.
Right, let me tell you this. Dog's barking. She did take flight. That she did. She's not scared of dogs, obviously. The cats rule the roost. But yeah, she was like, yeah, nope, not hanging around while they're barking. Noisy. Yeah, end on this one. No?
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Dawn we now.
I figured it out. This is the music. This is the music you were expecting. This is the music you were expecting. This is the ending music. Not the Hydra one that I get copyright claimed every single time I play the Hydra song. I have to fill in a form afterwards. But that's okay. it's usually like details of the license. I copy paste to fill in the form. It's fine. So yes, this is the ending music. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I make no promises as to the quality of live streams,